I step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune to my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Good morning, good looking. How you doing today? Welcome to it. A very good morning from myself, Graham Richards.
And I'm Zoe Brown. Good morning to your Feel Good Breakfast. Well, welcome to your Feel Good Breakfast show. It is Expresso. And we have a fun and big morning lined up for you because today it is all about the kiddies.
Yay.
How exploring the benefits of e-schooling to finding out how to get knitted out with, in fact, kitted out at home with schooling tech, really just to make this whole learning from home a bit easier.
Yeah, because it's part of our new reality we've got to come to grips with it. Then our fashion guru, Knox, is going to share how leggings are making a comeback. Wow, boom, take a look at that. Not necessarily in bright pink, but if you want to, you can do it. And we love seeing our little ones in skinny jeans, leggings, just so cute. So we're going to be focusing on the babies and the kids there as well. And then listen to this. Our favorite chocolate, Smarties, are doing something quite special and sustainable, which ticks a box for us in terms of their packaging. And I guess we'll never get to see Smarties the same way again. What a lot I got.
That was the best.
What a lot I got. We used to buy like a value pack and just empty them all on the bed.
I still love, to this day, when I eat popcorn and Smarties. It's a winning combination. Yes. Like, that's the only thing I go to the movies for, is for that box of popcorn and a box of Smarties.
What a lot she got, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. But as we said, a focus on the little ones today. So if you're a parent especially, I think you're going to get something out of this one. And if not, well, maybe you'll get something out of the gorgeous two gentlemen that are sitting smouldering in the corner. Is it cold in here? No, it's not, because we've got our own central heating. Gentlemen, good morning.
Oh. Good morning. It is beautiful to see your gorgeous face. We can't really see it, but we imagine it, and it looks gorgeous. It really does. My name is Carl Wasty, joined by the fantastic and incredible Ryle. How's it?
Has it, but?
You see, Ryle and smile rhymes, man. It should be a smile, though. But welcome. The thing is, we always love interaction with you. And as you can hear, there are some fantastic things coming up on the show. But the one thing is around e-learning.
E-learning, it's the new craze. Obviously, everybody's been forced to do it with our kids. And we want to know from you on our social media channels this morning, has e-learning improved your kids' performance at school, or are you in preference of going back to that traditional learning style? I know I definitely struggle with this e-learning because I need to run free. I need to be wild.
Yes.
But let us know on our social media channels. Of course, that's expressoshow.com, and our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram will be popping off today, chatting to you, Mzansi. But before we get into it, let's find out first up what's happening in the news with G.
Thanks so much. Let's start here in South Africa with Deputy President David Mabuza saying that the country is forging ahead with plans to manufacture COVID-19 vaccines locally. Thus, as South Africa and India continue to push for a waiver on some intellectual property rights for vaccines and medicines at the World Trade Organization, or the WTO, an independent panel's report into the world's response to the coronavirus pandemic has now recommended that the WTO urge pharmaceutical firms to hammer out an agreement on voluntary licensing and technology transfers to boost vaccine production. Then the second deputy president of the Muslim Law Council in South Africa, Sheikh Riyad Fattar, has called on the government and political parties to support the Palestinians in the Middle East. The council has protested at Parliament about the ongoing conflict between Israel and Palestinian militant groups. At least 35 people have been killed in the Gaza Strip and 5 in Israel. Fattar demanded stricter action against Israel. The South African Jewish Board of Deputies had earlier called on the South African government to remain objective to the situation in the Middle East. Then continuing on the international front, some 4,000 people, including leaders from across the continent, have attended President Yoweri Museveni's swearing-in ceremony in Uganda's capital, Kampala. Museveni won a highly contested election in January, which musician and politician Bobi Wine has continued to claim was rigged. The 76-year-old has led Uganda for 40 years, making him one of Africa's longest-serving leaders. In the last 3 decades, Uganda has made considerable progress in social and economic development, but the aging leader has also been criticized for clinging to power beyond his time. Then the COVID-19 pandemic was preventable. An independent review panel has now released this news. The panel, set up by the World Health Organization, or WHO, said the combined response of the WHO and global governments was, quote, a toxic cocktail. The panel found crucial shortcomings in the global response in early 2020, including a delay in declaring an emergency, a failure to impose travel restrictions, and an entire lost month when countries neglected to respond to warnings. The panel said a global system should be set up to prevent a repeat of the COVID-19 effects across the globe. Now, next, news of a huge honor for a top South African professor. A huge honor has befell Professor Kwarisha Abdul Karim, Pro-Vice Chancellor for African Health at the University of KwaZulu-Natal and Associate Scientific Director of the Center for the AIDS Program of Research in South Africa. She has been appointed to serve in the United Nations high-level 10-member group as co-chair in support of the technology facilitation mechanism to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. Her prestigious and distinguished appointment positions South Africa as an integral partner on the UN Global Agenda for Science, Innovation and Technology Development. Abdul Karim is also a National Research Foundation A1-rated scientist and an infectious diseases epidemiologist. She joins eminent and distinguished individuals from civil society, the private sector and the scientific community appointed by the UN Secretary General following an extensive selection process. She is the wife of Professor Salim Abdul Karim, who until recently was chair of the Ministerial Advisory Committee on COVID-19. The Abdul Karims, both aged 60, are also internationally renowned for their contribution to COVID-19 research, and we certainly tip our hat to her. So congratulations. And that's where we leave our news headlines for now. Let's touch on the sport.
Insurance specifically designed for fearless women.
Let's start with football. SuperSport United and Maritzburg United recorded midweek PSL wins, while Kaizer Chiefs recorded their 12th draw of the season. SuperSport beating newly crowned Nedbank Cup champions Chakuma Chalmazivandila 1-0, and Maritzburg sealing a very exciting 3-2 win over Golden Arrows in that 5-goal thriller. So the Almakosi and Swallows, they drew one apiece at the FNB Stadium, while the fixtures between Chippa United and Black Leopards and Bloem Celtic and Cape Town City, they played out to goalless draws there. Then staying with football news, Mikel Arteta's Arsenal secured a 1-0 win over Chelsea thanks to a goal by Emile Smith-Rowe at Stamford Bridge. Following the result, the Blues remain fourth on the Premier League log on 64 points, while the Gunners, they are eighth, just 1 point behind Tottenham Hotspur in seventh. And there'll be two Premier League fixtures tonight as the Aston Villa face Everton. That's at 7 p.m. And then Manchester United, they'll be hosting old foes Liverpool at 9:15 tonight. Should be some great derby action there. Then on to tennis. 20-time Grand Slam champion Rafael Nadal opened his bid to win a 10th Italian Open title after easing past teenager Yannick Sinner 7-5, 6-4 yesterday. The world number 3 has now advanced to the round of 16, where he'll face Canadian Denis Shapovalov today. Then in the women's draw, Serena Williams suffered a shock loss in the 1,000th tour level match of her career. Argentina's Nadia Podoroska beating the 23-time Grand Slam winner 7-6, 7-5 in the second round of the Italian Open. We'll touch on those sporting headlines again in about an hour or so. Right now, let's greet the day with some of your beautiful sunrise pictures.
Thank you, Graham, and they are absolutely beautiful. So thank you to each and every one of you for sharing your breathtaking sunrise vistas this week. We love getting a glimpse into the parts of your country, well, in fact, your beautiful parts of the country. And kicking us off this morning is Candace Sylvester from Knysna, who shared this great photo of the sun casting a golden glow over the areas as it rises. And then Charles Samuels shared this lovely image of the clouds scattered across the sky as it becomes lighter. Please do continue to share your sunrise photos with us, and you can do so on the Expresso Facebook page. We absolutely love seeing how you start your day. And we will also continue to appreciate our local and international viewers who tune in via YouTube and the Africa channel in the US. This morning, we are highlighting the city of Zurich in Switzerland. Zurich is the largest city in Switzerland and situated in north-central Zurich Switzerland at the northwestern tip of Lake Zurich. Zurich. Many museums and art galleries can be found in the city, including the Swiss National Museum. It is also among the world's largest financial centers, despite having a relatively small population, and the city is home to many financial institutions and banking companies. So if you're in Zurich today and you're tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast show, expect rainy conditions throughout the day with a maximum of 14 degrees Celsius. And just a quick news update for you. A time capsule containing a sample of rock and dirt as old as the solar system itself will drop from outer space in the US's Utah desert on the 24th of September in the year 2023. That's what NASA has planned for its historic OSIRIS-REx asteroid probe, which began its trek home earlier this week. Its precious cargo of 60 grams of ancient debris from the near-Earth asteroid Bennu is the largest sample collected since the Apollo moon missions. Scientists believe it may provide clues on the formation of the solar system more than 4.5 billion years ago. The spacecraft launched in 2016 off the Florida coastline, with its destination the asteroid Bennu, some 297 kilometers away. Bennu is about half a kilometer wide at its equator and makes a close approach to Earth every 6 years. Once the capsule touches down, it will be taken to NASA's Johnson Space Center facility in Houston, Texas, for further study. NASA has said it plans to keep 75% of the sample for further and future generations to study with technologies not yet created. Well, on that interesting note, that's where I leave your interesting news. And let's quickly look at your temperatures. If you're in Polokwane today, expect a sunny day with a low of 6, a high of 25. Bombela 11, reaching a high of 28. Sunny conditions in Pretoria 9, 27. Johannesburg 6, 24. Mahikeng 7 with a high of 28. Sunny in Klerksdorp 6 with a high of 27. If you're in Kimberley, a low of 9, a high of 26 for today. Bloemfontein 3, 25. Sunny conditions for Richards Bay 16, 29. Pietermaritzburg 11, reaching a high of 30. Sunny in Durban today with a high of 28. Mthatha 9, reaching a high of 30. East London 12, 24, Cradock 8 with a high of 30, partly cloudy conditions in Gqeberha today, a low of 11, a high of 21. George, slightly cooler, a low of 10 and a high of 19 for today. Cape Town 12, also reaching a high of 19. Worcester 14, 26. Sutherland 7 with a high of 20. And sunny and warm conditions can be expected in Uppington today with a low of 14 and a high of 30 degrees Celsius. That's where I leave your weather for now. Another update coming your way at 7 o'clock.
We woke up like this.
That's right, we did. We go to bed in suits because it's part of the job. We are told it's part of the contract. We have to go to bed in suits.
And also, we got enough sleep last night. Now, did you know that it's essential for us to get 7 to 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep? And believe it or not, the size of your bed has a significant effect on your sleeping pattern and your ability to function during the day.
It is so true. And I mean, another interesting fact is that your bed should be an estimated 12 to 15 centimeters longer than your height. So for me, only 1.6. Anyway, and if you are sharing your bed, there should be enough space to lie down side by side with your hands beside your head and your elbows not touching.
So guys, remember, you also stand a chance, of course, to win this incredible Rest Assured Ruby Queen size base set with a no-turn mattress and an Evolution pocket spring system valued at 8,000 Rand. And let me tell you, you want to get in on this action.
You do. There's a lot of soft fluffiness happening here, and it could be yours. Now, just reply to the competition post on Expresso's Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram pages, and tell us what size bed you prefer, a double, queen, or king. And remember to include hashtag Rest Assured in your answer. The competition closes at 9 a.m. today. Namhlanje vandag, and T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com. To see more on the Rest Assured products, follow them on Instagram at restassured.beds.
Let's wake up like this.
No, let's go sleep rather. In my small bed.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso and S3. And as I mentioned to you a little earlier, you know, this is all about the kids, about e-learning. It's about making sure that we are keeping up with the technological times while ensuring that education is paramount. So primary schools all the way up to tertiary education. I mean, many lessons and lectures have actually migrated online. We've seen that throughout the entire 2020 year as well as 2021. While initially in the rush of the pandemic, teachers made do with their laptops and built-in cameras, a lot have since upgraded their home classrooms to become a full-on production.
Yeah,
Proper.
so we've got Grant Hines in the building. He's joining us from his home to show his setup and take us through what some teachers are doing to make the best of the distance from their students. So Grant Hines not here, but he's over at HQ, we'd call it. Grant, you in the building?
I like the idea of HQ. How's it going?
Like a man in you.
I'm great. Yeah, look, a lot of people are teaching from home. I have a lot of friends that are teachers, and a lot of teaching friends have contacted me about how I do my live streams, because a lot of the gear that we use to live stream is being used to teach now, because teaching is becoming somewhat of a production. And although I have a rather excessive, you'll see now, I've got quite an excessive production as it is. This is literally, let me go through some of the basics with you so you have an idea of what it's like. First up, what I want to do, let me just drop you on this wide over here. We have good lighting. Good lighting is extremely important. I am using something called a Stream Deck. It's like a vision mixer. It's something that everybody that is behind the scenes in the control room of the show right now understands. It's how you cut between different cameras. I've got multiple cameras. You don't need multiple cameras in order to teach, but sometimes it can be a great teaching aid. For instance, you might have something that's on your desk and you might want to show it off. Say you've got something like you're drawing. So these drawing tablets are another tools that are being used as teaching aids, because you can then have people look down on you, or if you need to just like go through to another part of the of your room, you can do that if you're a different kind of teacher. And you don't need to get expensive cameras. There are lots of different kinds. I use like a camcorder, but you also get webcams and cheaper camcorders that you can use to fulfill the same function, which is really cool. These are the vision mixers, and a lot of people are buying smaller ones. A lot of teachers are buying small ones so that they can just quickly change between maybe a PowerPoint presentation or something, so that the students can see what they're doing. Yeah. Another thing that I use is a microphone. If you are a teacher and you want to sound good if you're having a meeting or whatever, good sound is always the most important thing that you can have on an online production. The camera comes second. In fact, the camera that you are seeing right now, this is my phone. I've actually used it as a phone. Let me actually bring this up for you so you can see. This is my phone on a tripod. And I'm able to then use it as a roaming device throughout the room as I do it. So you can use the phone that you have as a camera. And then having good audio means that you just stand out in the room, especially when you're on a call with a bunch of kids. I can imagine how all the kids sound bad because they're all just using their devices that they have at home. And you, as the authority in the room, will just sound really good. So get a good condenser microphone. That's what you spend money on. Everything else you kind of build up as you go along. And then if you really want to, I've got a green screen. Just check this out.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
I was waiting for this moment.
Oh,
Put something interesting behind you.
Yeah, so if you're a teacher, you could potentially drop something interesting behind you. I am going to quickly drop, this is the main shot that I have, and I could drop something like this. Let me just, I've got buttons that change my lighting. Ooh. So I'm gonna just change my lighting. So there we go, that's brighter. And then I can do things like, zoom into the camera full screen. I've done presentations like this at education conferences in Birmingham from Cape Town last year because everything went remote. And I'm able to do this and go like, there's something behind me, let's talk about it. And then it just looks so much more impressive.
Also, it's quite nice to be able to stare at your teacher when they're floating in the sky other than a boring backdrop at the same time, man.
Also what I realized that Raul and I could actually work from home. We don't need to drive into studio thanks to this. Thank you. Makes sense. It really does. But I mean, it makes a lot of sense in terms of cutting through the noise. And I think that quality does actually speak to authority. It also speaks to credibility. And I think these are tools that every teacher or lecturer actually needs. So Grant, thank you so much for the information. And we miss you in studio, my brother, but I can see you don't really need to be here.
I miss you guys. Oh, no. That's the future. It's the new normal.
It is the future. I feel like the last thing I should do is ask you to send me back to the Matrix. You look like Kit with all that gear there, man. You are such a setup. I love it.
I'm on it. I'll get you there.
And I mean, the vision mixing is also working as well. I mean, there are so many teachers who have innovations and lecturers. So if you have any, sort of teachers or lecturers who have done anything exciting or different to keep your online lessons fun and different, please let us know. Go to the Expresso Facebook page. We'd love to showcase them and highlight them as we get on to a very special segment for you, which is around e-learning. Here's Graham and Jamie.
Now, this has got me really excited because it feels like we are leveling the playing field. Access to education and school resources still have a long way to go, yes, in South Africa, but we are making great strides. And as a drive to combat this issue, Vodacom's E-Schooling platform aims to make use of technology to connect our young people to quality education in order to create a better future for all, and I stress for all. And we chat to Rabia Awasi, the Education Program Manager at Vodacom Foundation, about what sounds like an amazing platform and how they are bridging the gap for education in South Africa, crossing the digital divide. A very good morning, Rabia. How are you?
Good morning, Graham. Thank you for having me.
Rabia, like G said right now, it's exciting stuff. We are definitely leveling the playing field and connecting everyone to this platform. But we also understand that using technology to create a brighter future for all is so important to you and the foundation. Maybe you can tell us a bit more about the purpose behind launching this e-schooling platform.
So in response to bridging the digital divide and providing access to quality digital content, Vodacom in 2014 launched eSchool in partnership with the Department of Basic Education. So Vodacom eSchool is a secure online learning platform that has got basic education content for grade R to 12 South African learners.
I love it. Stepping in, using technology where there is a massive gap in society. Now, as we move towards this digital age, well, I think we're swept up in it already. Online education has blown up, especially over this last year as the world has gone through, obviously, a global pandemic that has forced us to stay at home. How is this shaping the way that we are going to educate our youth, especially here in South Africa?
Supporting education at Vodacom has been our key focus, and we were really so impressed and encouraged by the phenomenal increase in support of new registration on the eSchool portal. In the past year, we've had a massive increase in the user registration and content utilization. I mean, in the previous years, we would find that we would have 40,000 learners registered on eSchool per day, but in the past year, we're seeing over 150,000 learners registering on the portal. So what this demonstrates to us is that this is clearly addressing a societal need, especially at this time where government and private sector need to join hands as we contend with COVID-19. So, and also as Vodacom, what we are able to do is that we're uplifting learners, teachers and parents as we are actually gearing up as a nation and as a country for the fourth industrial revolution.
We just want to know more and more, Rabia. Maybe you can tell us a bit more about the Vodacom e-schooling and also how exactly this platform works.
Vodacom eSchool is a very easy platform to use. All you need is a cell phone, tablet or laptop. Will need to ask an adult to help you with the registration, where they will then enter your educational details, which is your grade and your subject choice, and then you set up a password, and then you're good to go. So what the platform offers is daily lessons, which consist of notes, assignments, quizzes, and as well as personalized reports. And then what it also offers is that you are given a free, unlimited unlimited internet access to basic education content at any time and at any place. So this content is aligned to the Department of Basic Education curriculum, and what we offer in the platform is that it's a supplement of the content where it is for public and private schools, and learners can actually use this content for revision and self-study.
This is big.
It's massive. I'm just thinking of how much effort must have gone into the back end of this to bring it to this point. So kudos to you for that. Where do people go to enroll, first of all? And I want you, did just tell us, but I want you to say it again. Is this free to use?
Yes. It is free to use. It is zero rated. If you are on the Vodacom network, you will not be charged any data. So it's got content from grade R to 12, as I've mentioned. So, I mean, a learner that from the ages of 5 years old can start using the content.
Absolutely brilliant. Rabia, you are a superstar, and this is inspiring. Education and young people in South Africa is a massive focus for our show, and we couldn't be prouder to help getting this message out there. Thank you so much for your time this morning. You're wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. You are also wonderful. Have a great day.
With education being one of Vodacom's key focuses, using technology to bridge the divide and really just shape a better future for all is the ultimate goal. Now you can visit www.vodacom.co.za/e-school to register your kid and open up a world of a whole new opportunities.
When your family connects, we go further together. Vodacom.
back. It is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, and Knox Mafu is with me because who runs the world?
Girl.
Who runs the world?
Girl.
That's right. I mean, do you remember the 2000s when every girl wore colorful leggings? It was a trend celebrated around the globe. It was also seen on Disney and amongst those the then teen celebrities like your Hannah Montana, who's Miley Cyrus, of course. And now it's making a bit of a comeback in the kids and babies fashion, and that's why our fashion editor Knox is here to really unpack this fun trend. I mean, did you wear leggings? Did you go through that trend?
100%. I had graphic ones, I had like bold colors, and that was at the time when we were color blocking very much so. So like I had it in every color, matching them with my favorite tops. It really was a good time.
I loved my leggings so much, and I could relate to why some people would say leggings are not pants.
I know, and it was so hard for me to struggle with that, you know, but there comes a time where you have to actually watch the material, because when it's too thin, you're like, ooh, I'm seeing too much.
Now let's unpack these cute ones I'm seeing in front of me. So which leggings, in fact, what leggings are currently available for babies and like kids?
Yeah, so I think for the kids, like you're saying, the leggings are back. I think what we're seeing is a lot of the graphic polka dots and tie-dye elements that we're coming. So closer to you, Zoe, we're seeing here the graphic prints that are coming in, which are really fun. They've got these amazing pocket sockets, which are super responsible and great for the kids in case they've got some tuck shop money they need to keep. But tie-dye is also extremely fashionable at the moment. We saw it when we saw like the sweats coming in athleisure. So that's translating into kids fashion. And then of course your more plain items. But what I love is that they're made of really sustainable cottons, keeping them absolutely warm. And obviously the graphics are just too fun to deal with.
It is so cute.
Absolutely.
I'm loving these teeny tiny little leggings that I'm seeing.
Exactly.
Now, what would we pair the leggings with?
So I think when you get to leggings, obviously the big thing I think parents are looking for is warmth, and they're looking for functionality, which both of these items have. So as you've got that as a layer, I would pair that with a beautiful dress. So we've got these fun, you know, printed dresses that we have. So the floral element, and then you could add it maybe with a more plain leggings that you have. But of course, if you want to have fun, which leggings are about that, you can really then add a sweater underneath. You've got your corduroy doing a performance there, and then of course the leggings for a little bit of style. But if you're going to be running around, which most kids are doing, I would pair it very easily with a sweat top, a pullover, and there you have an athleisure look for the kids also. So the versatility of this thing is the best part of it. You can keep warm, you can have fun, but also keep it stylish and fun.
And keep it fun. I think that is the cute thing. Now, I'm looking at all these cute outfits. How would you put a look together from head to toe?
So, you know, I like to do it with a model because we always need a model, and I've got my great model over here.
We have the sweetest little model, Amahle, in studio with us.
I think it's quite clear.
She's one of our regulars.
Exactly. And the girls are running town at the moment. So what we've done here, we've added the corduroy dress, which is really great. The leggings, of course, are the fun and really playful element. Exactly. And we've got the floral being kind of picked up with the corduroy dress there. And then we've paired, because she needs to keep warm, we've paired that with a nice kind of striped top there to keep warm and just have a little bit of fun, and some great shoes to give that warmth and edge.
I love how playful these colors are. It like boggles my mind. I would never have thought of putting floral leggings with a stripy shirt. This is so fun.
Absolutely. And I think kids are meant to have fun. So, I mean, Amahle is ready to show everyone at school that she is rocking.
She is rocking. She is stylish. She is fun. She is vibrant. Amahle, you are beautiful. Give us one last twirl.
One last twirl. Yes, girl. Yes, girl. Woo.
There we go. Absolutely adorable.
Yes.
Well, Amahle, thank you so much for joining us today. Knox, thank you for showing us all of the cute leggings that's available for girls, of course, for kids and for babies. Yes. And if you at home have been seeing all of these beautiful pieces we've been showcasing, you can head on over to Woolworths. You can shop safely in-store, online, or through the app for these looks and a whole lot more.
E-Schooling, tick. Outfits, tick. Lunchbox coming right up.
Morning, boy.
How's it, Dad?
How's the exams going?
100%?
100% what?
100% crush. 100% fruit. 100% goodness.
With love by Clover.
So if you're looking for something 100% healthy and delicious for a lunchbox, some hummus and crudités with a crushed 100% on the side will give you and your little loved ones all the energy and, most importantly, the nutrients that they need to take them through what we know is a very busy and demanding day at school. Raul and I have got two little workstations set up here. This is very simple, it's nutritious, and it's delicious 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Gee, I love this, man. This is something that I'm sure you would possibly do with young
Yeah, man.
well,
I've got to say, Jack is quite one-dimensional with his approach. So, like, as long as he's got his juice box in there, 100% sorted, hummus, he'll be like, nah, I'll have it after school. Yeah, no, I have this vision in my mind. He plays hard, man.
Okay.
So when he's playing, I ain't got no time for lunch. I ain't got time to play. But it's
man's focused.
Yeah, but that's the operative word there is they play, and they play hard at school, which means that they need lunch. They need the energy to concentrate. Most importantly, and you want it to be enjoyable as well. So I'm going to handle the hummus station over here, and this is a basic standard way of making hummus that you can kind of use and launch from. If you want to add a bit of avo, a bit of red pepper, a bit of chili for the grown-ups, maybe your child likes a bit of heat, I don't know. You can do that, and then you're going to do the crudité. So let me get cracking.
So what have you got over there for your ingredients?
The base of all hummus is the humble chickpea.
Nice. I love these. Obviously, the fact that it's meat alternative, but it's still got a lot of protein, and so perfect macronutrient for the kids to get them through the day.
Great source of fiber as well.
Yeah.
And this is going to give your hummus the body because you don't want it to be too runny. So this is like you need a funnel. You need a chickpea funnel. I think would make life a lot easier. Okay, there's the base.
I think it's also the fact that it gives it something like texture and body.
Yeah,
like you said,
completely.
It's not just a drink anymore because it's not just like he's going to have his 100% crush and another drink on the side.
Another drink on the side.
Meal.
So I'm going to put 2 cloves of garlic in. You don't want your child to be ostracized on the playground floor. Like put in 5 cloves of garlic.
It could be a good defense on the playground.
Yeah, exactly.
You messing with me?
Yeah, no way. Put your mask on, bro. Put your mask on. Then we've got some tahini. And this, obviously made from sesame seeds. This is what's going to give it that beautiful Middle Eastern flavor. Absolutely essential.
Like
I love this
oily
flavor profile.
butter. Look at that.
Oh, it's lovely. And I suppose it kind of is a nut butter of sorts, but absolutely delicious there. And then we're going to do just a squeeze of lemon, a little bit of balance there with the acidity.
Why would you add the lemon in? What's that, just to balance it out?
Yeah, I think balance the flavors. I always kind of get this vibe from all of the foodies and the chefs. You need a bit of acidity, you need a bit of salt, you need a little bit of sweetness, and then, of course, a little bit of moisture just to help break down those.
Nice.
I'm going on feel here, but you can get the exact measurements on expressoshow.com.
As simple as that?
It's as simple as that. You can chop up the garlic if you want, but everything's going to be bulleted. So
into the blender it goes. All right, so while you're done on there, we can move over to my side. Crudités is how they would mention it. So while G's getting that on, and I shout at you about the next few ingredients.
Say it, crudités!
So it's very simple, of course, and that's looking quite good, G.
The consistency looks great. I'm thinking that is about sorted, man.
Nice, all right. So my step's really simple. Crudités, however you pronounce it. If you don't know what it is, it's basically like finger food and veg that you use with the dips sort of served on a platter. And we're going to get it going right now. So I learned another thing. I'm going to start off with cucumber because this is part of the parcel.
Okay.
I love using colors. I love using flavors. It gives it vibrance. And
Kids love cucumber.
Yeah, and apparently they love it when it's cut in a julienne.
So you want to
guys.
Those nice long strips so they can dunk it in. You don't want them to go through the embarrassment of like, no, in fact, do that for entertainment value. Give them tiny little bits of cucumber so they've got to get their whole hand and fingers in the hummus.
But I must say, Nicole Snelling is really...
Ooh, hey, how lovely is that?
Man, I would dip literally everything in that. Balance. So I got my little Juliette cucumbers cut up over here, so that's step 1 done. Then, I think it's like a main compulsory type of ingredient when it comes to any dipping and finger food. Carrots, good for your eyesight, of course. I think it's called beta-carotene is the word.
100%.
And not everyone likes the skin, so I'm going to give this a little bit of a grate G just to make it, obviously, you know, you call it the perfect serve. This is the carrot perfect serve. I take the little ends off as well, because I know the kids don't always love that.
And the carrot's nice because it's sweet, and this is where you can kind of make sure that you're getting in all the nutrients balanced.
Yeah.
You know, we eat with our eyes. The reason is because every color represents a different kind of nutrient group, and here you've got it all. And kids dig texture. They dig something that they can hold, they can get into, and obviously the whole state when it comes to these veggies is ideal because it means you're getting the most out of the nutrient power punch.
Yeah, man. So
Okay.
there we have it. Gee, I think it's pretty much as simple as that. I've obviously got some baby corn, I've got some beans, tomatoes, carrots, Juliette cucumber, and
look at
the
that.
main
And then
hero
we've got our-
ingredient. And then you simply pack it into the kids'
There we
lunchbox.
go.
Simple as that. Maybe in a rush, you got 5 minutes to get to school, so you can just dump it in like this. Come on,
The
kids, you're going to be
car
late.
pull
You
is
got a
heading
big
outside.
test.
Gotta go.
Grab your lunch.
Done.
Look how cool it looks,
Dude,
man.
have a little taste of this one,
Oh,
and
yes,
just tell me
please.
what you think there, buddy. Hey?
Gee, you need to bottle this up, put your name on it, and sell this, man. This is delicious.
I do. 20 bucks.
100% goodness coming right here. The perfect lunchbox. It's done by one dad and one potential dad.
What are you trying to say here, buddy? What are you trying to say?
What excuse have you got? The kids have no reason not to be playing right throughout the day. They feel for it.
I feel like Nicole, our food, you packed such a beautiful one. Ours is like a dad's one. It's a dad's version for sure. And we round it off with 100% refreshment and goodness with our Clover Crush. Your child is sorted. And they can share this with their mates or they can just dig in themselves. Absolutely beautiful, man.
Hey, man.
Nicely done. You can find us at expressoshow.com. Get the full ingredients list here and you can start creating yourself. Not only is Crush 100% fruity, tasty and refreshing, but it's also stacked with 100% goodness. And a little
Morning, boy.
How's it, Dad?
How's the exams going?
100%?
100% what?
100% crush. 100% fruit. 100% goodness.
With love by Clover. Oh, you can make my day.
Good breakfast show, Expresso on S3, and all I'm going to say is you are in for a treat. And when it comes to making a difference to a cause you feel inspired by, you can feel a bit sometimes overwhelmed. Now, where do I start? Those are questions we ask ourselves all the time. And how can one person really make a difference?
Good questions indeed. Now, today we're talking about My School, My Village and My Planet, which is a community program where hundreds of thousands of people across South Africa are raising funds for the initiatives that they are passionate about. And the best part is, it doesn't cost them a single cent.
And that is absolutely amazing. And here to tell us all about South Africa's biggest community loyalty program is Helene Brand, the marketing manager for My School, My Village, My Planet. Welcome back to Expresso.
Thank you. Good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
Fantastic. Thank you.
It's good to have you. And I've got to say, I've been surrounded by your organization for so long now. Whenever I'm checking out at the shop, do you have a My School, My card?
Your mom probably had a card.
Yeah, my mom had a card like back in the day, and it's crazy to think that it's still going on. But I have to ask you, what is this program actually doing? I know it's doing good things, but what exactly are those good things?
It's absolutely one of the programs that makes it so easy to give back. I mean, simply signing up for a free card, and these days you can have a physical card or a virtual card if, like me, you like to have everything on your phone. Then you choose up to 3 causes that you are passionate about. And this might be a preschool, a primary school, a high school, a charity, a cause that cares for animals or the environment. And then you do what you do best, you start shopping. We all need to shop. And so when you shop at partner stores like Woolworths, Builders, Loot.co.za, Engine Foodstops, Bidvest, Waltons, and even a few local and regional stores, those partner stores, they give back on your behalf. A percentage of what you've spent goes back to the causes you chose. And then every month, what I really like is I like to get that email in my inbox. It's a statement that shows me exactly how much money the causes I support have raised, and I can see the collective impact. And that's exciting.
And that is exciting, because I think a lot of us are like, you know what, life is so busy, we want to give back, we don't know where to start. Is it as simple as you sign up, the money gets donated on your behalf? Why would you encourage people to join this program?
There's so many reasons I would encourage you to join, but I think the number one thing is about supporting a cause that matters to you. All of us can resonate with an issue, an injustice, or a cause that we feel passionate about. We've got over 8,000 charities and schools and causes to choose from. So really, there's something for everyone. Secondly, besides for you giving, you're also getting, because My School card holders get exclusive discounts and savings at our partner stores. It's a win-win situation. And then this month especially, there's a good reason to sign up, because we're going to give away 200,000 Rand in cash prizes to card holders, as well as the causes you support during May and June. So it's an even bigger reason to sign up this month.
Oh, man, I love this. So I've got to ask, I want to get into it, because obviously, like I said, you've been doing such incredible work for so long. I know you're making a difference. But again, if I can ask you, what sort of differences are you making in the communities? I know there's such a big impact, and it varies clearly based on the fact that we get to choose what communities and what sort of institutes you want to support. But I mean, you could tell us firsthand, what is it actually doing in the end?
I think one of the biggest impacts is sustainability. Every single month, money is paid out in cash. Millions of rands gets paid out in cash to organizations across the country. That is a massive investment back from the retailers of South Africa, investing back into the communities we live and work in. That's the biggest difference. I mean, secondly, the My School program also makes sure that we're investing where it's needed most. So, for example, and I have too many examples, but just last month, we opened new grade R classrooms at a school in KZN.
Oh, wow.
We're helping communities where they don't have access to clean water or sanitation and hand washing stations. I'm thinking of another story. Recently, Sandcarp had that disaster with the Cape Cormorants.
Yes.
We invested there. When disaster strikes with the Cape Town fires, we make sure we're supporting Gift of the Givers and the Volunteer Wildfire Association. We're helping young people, for example, who want to become teachers, but who don't have the funds to study. We're helping them with bursaries and work placement in some of the top schools in South Africa to experience what it's like to be a great teacher. So I have too many stories to tell.
I think everybody's just going to get a card now. I mean, there's nothing else to really ask.
We'll need to do a documentary.
Wow.
But impact is very important to us, and reaching real people where they need it most.
I'm just thinking now of, you know, we're joking and saying our moms have those cards, and they genuinely do. But, you know, for people that have signed up and people that want to sign up. Firstly, for those who want to sign up, where can they do that? Because you say it's absolutely free. And for those who have signed up, is it possible for them to change the charities they're supporting, perhaps? Like perhaps they're now more passionate about something else?
It's such a good question. You know, your season of your life changes, and with your My School card, you can change the beneficiary or the cause at any time that you want. And like I said, you can have up to 3. So simply log on online at the myschool.co.za website. And there you have your portal where you can manage your beneficiaries, change your details, make sure we're emailing you your statements. And if you don't have a card yet, it's also really easy to join on the myschool.co.za website, or pop into a Woolies today and get a card at the customer service desk, or download the app. I must admit, I love using the app because it gives me my virtual card on my phone.
Yes, I like that. I need to do the virtual card because I still come there with my 2 different cards. I swipe the rewards, I swipe my school card, and then,
I think
we'll
that's
just make life
definitely the way
simple.
forward. But Alina, I mean, I can't thank you enough. We could probably sit here for hours talking about the impact that you've created. All I ask of you, all I firstly want to say is thank you. I can't tell you how much it's appreciated by, I think, and what it sounds like, the entire country and every single cause. So I just hope that you can carry on growing, and I hope that you, Mzansi, get involved in this incredible cause too. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you to everybody who swipes their cards. They make it all possible.
There we go. Well, if you don't have your card, make sure you head on over to myschool.co.za and that you do join the My School, My Village, My Planet program, because it's such an easy way for you to give back, and you can sign in. You can do so. You can go and collect your card at Woolworths or sign up at myschool.co.za.
So, first of all, love Helene.
Yes.
I've been introduced to so many cool organizations along her side with her, and I just absolutely love the work that she does. Second thing,
yes,
maybe go with 1 clove of garlic in the hummus and not 2 that we made earlier.
I can tell. At the moment, my eyes are burning, and it's one man's breath. I don't want to mention names, but don't follow my eyes.
But look, it's a good immune booster. We love that. Okay, and 3, thank you so much for connecting with us this morning about a really exciting thing. We're getting into the tech that's driving school at the moment. In fact, we put it to you. Has e-schooling improved your child's performance at school during lockdown, or do you prefer el tradicional schooling? And I suppose this is something that most parents, like yourself, have had to ask yourselves.
You know, it's quite strange, because I think that same device that the schooling is coming from is also the gaming device as well. So it's about separating the 2 cultures, one education, one leisure, on the same platform, which is quite challenging, but not impossible. However, we want to get to know exactly what you think about this, so let's check it out. Facebook. All right, so Andiswa Shozi. Honestly, I prefer contact classes because online learning is hard. Sometimes by the time you log in, the class is finished because you're struggling with network problems. This is so true in South Africa. Or you can't hear the lecture because you come from a big family, so during lockdown everyone was at home and you can go to libraries. It has been extreme torture because sometimes you're keen on learning, but your surroundings doesn't have enough facilities to offer you a good learning experience.
Clearly, you've thought a lot about this and you've gone through the most, so we appreciate you mapping it out for us, and I would imagine a lot of people can relate. It's great to have the technology, but then we need parity, we need access to data. It's fantastic what we were chatting to Vodacom and George about earlier, and the fact that for their e-schooling system, data is free, specifically for that, but we need to level the playing fields, and I think technology is the way that we do that. But you can let us know on our social media platforms. Are you struggling with the new normal that is e-learning and being at home, or are you embracing it and this new wave of technology? We'd love to hear from you. days, Ryle has been trying to get out of the wrong side of this bed. How's it going, bud?
Absolutely terrible, G.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, bro.
No, honestly, man, there is no wrong side to this bed.
Yep, that's because it's a Rest Assured Ruby Queen base set. And if you keep your eyes on the Expresso show and our digital pages...
Answer an easy question, and from the 10th to the 14th of May, you stand a chance to win one of 5 of these incredible Rest Assured beds valued at 8,000 Rand.
Nice. Maybe it's that side.
Let's
Or
find
this
out.
side.
Let's
Maybe
find
it's
out.
this side.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes.
Welcome back. Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, S3, and we need to open up. I'm also a bit parched because it's been quite a...
Let me open up something for you.
Thank you.
my friend.
Can I
Give me
spray
a
you
young
first?
spray
Because I'm
there.
always ready with the sanitizing.
Let me hit
Always
you
ready.
up with
Here we go.
something to just crush it and
Thank
get
you.
on with the rest of the day. You ready?
I'm ready.
Boom!
There we go.
Yeah,
Catch
man.
is good. That's fantastic. As you know, there's still so much to look forward to. We've got this really great group that's going to be giving you a bit of a performance. There's something happening with the Philharmonic Orchestra. I don't want to spoil too many surprises, though. I want to say cheers to you.
Cheers, brother.
Because I saw you look fantastic in a suit, and so does this man who's about to smile at you with that grin. He's going to smolder first and then deliver the news.
And smile. There we go. We're ready for our national news now. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Let's dive right in with important news for South African voters. Voters can register for October 27th's local government elections during the weekend of July the 17th and 18th. The Electoral Commission will only hold one registration weekend compared to the usual 2 weekends. And this is due to budgetary constraints. Voters can also register during normal working hours at local offices of the Commission until the election is announced. More than 23,000 polling stations will be open nationwide from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Then on Wednesday, there'll be by-elections in 7 of the provinces. 145 candidates from 29 political parties will be participating. Then Deputy President David Mabuza says the country is forging ahead with plans to manufacture COVID-19 vaccines locally. This as South Africa and India continue to push for a waiver on some intellectual property rights for vaccines and medicines at the World Trade Organization, or WTO. An independent panel's report into the world's response to the coronavirus pandemic has now recommended that the WTO urge pharmaceutical firms to hammer out an agreement on voluntary licensing and technology transfers to boost vaccine production, which we know is needed in the emerging world. Then, continuing on the international front, the deadly exchange of fire between Palestinian militants in the Gaza Strip and Israeli military has escalated significantly, with the UN fearing a, we quote, full-scale war. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said he was, again, quoting, gravely concerned by the ongoing violence. Meanwhile, the Palestinian organization Hamas has confirmed that its military chief was killed in an Israeli airstrike in the city of Gaza. At least 53 Palestinians and 6 Israelis have been killed since Monday. And the fighting is because of the possible eviction of Palestinian families from their homes in East Jerusalem. Then some 4,000 people, including leaders from across the continent, have attended President Yoweri Museveni's inauguration ceremony in Uganda's capital, Kampala. Museveni won a very highly contested election in January, which musician and politician Bobi Wine has continued to claim was rigged. The 76-year-old has led Uganda for 40 years, making him one of Africa's longest-serving leaders. In the last 3 decades, Uganda has made considerable progress in social and economic development, but the aging leader has also been criticized for clinging to power beyond his time. And now, news of an impressive American success story that can teach the world. The bald eagle, declared the national bird of the United States way back in 1782, has long been seen as a symbol of freedom, resilience, and power. But despite their significance, this magnificent creature was once hunted to the verge of extinction. In fact, by 1960, there were less than 500 nesting pairs in 48 states of the U.S. But thanks to vigorous conservation efforts, the once near extinct bald eagle is now soaring to new heights with a population of some 300,000. And by the way, the bald eagle is not actually bald. Its contrasting white head and dark body plumage only gives the impression of a bald look. And their wingspan in most instances exceeds 2 meters, which is incredible. And these majestic birds dive at approximately 160 kilometers per hour to bag their prey. And they glide at altitudes of up to 3,000 meters. Majestic indeed. In indigenous American culture, they symbolize symbolize a connection to divinity because they are believed to be the closest creatures to the Creator. It's a beautiful and impressive American success story and a reminder to all of us that endangered animals can survive through our willful efforts to protect them. Hopefully, South Africans will take that on board as we round off our news headlines and get into the sport.
Fearless saves every month on insurance with First for Women.
Our midweek football did not disappoint last night. Locally, SuperSport United and Maritzburg United recorded their midweek PSL wins, while Kaizer Chiefs recorded their 12th draw of the season. SuperSport beating newly crowned Nedbank Cup champions Chikuma Chamazi-Vandila 1-0, and Maritzburg sealing a 3-2 win over Golden Arrows in a 5-goal thriller. So the Yamakosi and Swallows FC drew 1-1 in a hard-fought encounter at the FNB Stadium, while the fixtures between Chippa United and Black Leopards and Bloemfontein and Cape Town City FC, they played out to goalless draws. And staying with football, Mikel Arteta's Arsenal secured a 1-0 win over the high-riding Chelsea, thanks to goal by Emile Smith-Rowe at Stamford Bridge. So following the result, the Blues remain on 4th in the Premier League log on 64 points, while the Gunners, they are 8th, just 1 point behind Tottenham Hotspur in 7th position, of course chasing those Europa League spots. And there'll be 2 Premier League fixtures tonight, and a pretty, I think, notable one. Of course, we've got Aston Villa up against Everton at 7 p.m, but then the big one tonight, Manchester United hosting Liverpool at 9:15. And then on to tennis, looking his best. 20-time Grand Slam champion Rafa Nadal opened his bid to win a 10th Italian Open title. That was after easing past teenager Yannick Sinner 7-5, 6-4 yesterday. The world number 3 has now advanced to the round of 16, where he will face Canadian Denis Shapovalov, and that's later today. Then in the women's draw, Serena Williams suffered a shock loss in her 1,000th tour level match of her career. Argentina's Nadia Podoroska beating the 23-time Grand Slam winner 7-6, 7-5 in the second round of the Italian Open. Well, that's where we leave our sport. We'll broach those headlines again in about an hour or so. Right now, let's broach what the skies are looking like in your neck of the woods and get a take on the weather.
Thank you, Graham, and thank you to all of our viewers that have shared their breathtaking sunrise views this week. We love getting a glimpse into your part of the beautiful country. And kicking us off for 7 o'clock is Geraldine Flatwell from Simonstown, who shared this gorgeous and moody image of the sun rising over the ocean. Then Myra Scarola, who was traveling to KZN, shared this stunning photo of the sun casting its rays through the clouds and across the sky. Please do continue to share your beautiful sunrise photos with us on the Expresso Facebook page so that we can see how you start your day. And while we love seeing the various parts of South Africa, we also love exploring and learning about the different cultures and countries internationally. So this morning, if we have any viewers tuned in from the country of Turkey, this one is just for you. We're bringing you a brief weather update for the city of Ankara, the capital city of Turkey and Turkey's second largest city after Istanbul. The city is a modern European metropolis speckled with reminders of its varied history. Old castles and ruins are some historical sites to see, while the modern city includes government and state houses, major universities, and the oldest park in the city, that's Genklik Park. If you are in the city of Ankara today, you can expect a warm day ahead with times of sun and clouds reaching a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius. And with the extremely active 2020 Atlantic hurricane season, which encompassed a record-breaking 30 named tropical storms, including 13 hurricanes and 6 major hurricanes, still fresh in memory comes the news that the earliest ever named storm in a year has already formed. Tropical Storm Andres developed on Sunday and became not only the first named tropical storm of the year in the Western Hemisphere, but also the earliest ever named storm in the East Pacific. Andres formed about a month ahead of the average first storm, which typically occurs on June 10th, and well ahead of the official start of the season, which officially begins this weekend. The Atlantic hurricane season is forecast to be an active one this year again, and will see a near-average number of tropical storms. But residents along the affected coast shouldn't let their guard down, because with less active weather, storms can be extremely deadly and damaging, especially to coastal sections of Mexico. Well, on that note, that's where we leave your international news. Let's quickly look at your temperatures in South Africa. If you're in Polokwane, a sunny day ahead with a low of 6, a high of 25. Mabela, 11, reaching a high of 28. It's sunny in Pretoria, 9, 26. Johannesburg, 6 with a high of 24. Sunny in Mahikeng, 7, reaching a high of 28. Klerksdorp, 6, 27. Kimberley, 9, reaching a high of 26. Bloemfontein, 3 with a high of 25. Sunny in Richards Bay, 16 with a high of 29. Pietermaritzburg, 11, reaching a high of 30. Durban, 17, 28. Sunny in Mthatha, a low of 9 and a high of 30. If you're in East London today, a sunny day ahead with a high of 24. Cradock, 8, reaching a high of 30. Partly cloudy in Gqeberha, a low of 11, a high of 21. Sunny conditions in George with a high of 19. Cape Town, 12, reaching a high of 19. Worcester, partly cloudy with a high of 26. Sunny in Sutherland, 7 with a high of 20. And Uppington, expect a sunny day ahead with a low of 14 and a high of 30 degrees Celsius. Remember, you can share your beautiful sunrise photos with us, and you can do so on the Expresso Facebook page.
Thanks a lot, Zozo. Well, the performing arts fraternity has been waiting for the chance to express and perform, I have to do it that way, for an audience once again. And this will be happening in spectacular fashion in Cape Town this weekend with the Dance Can Dance, the Spirit of Enchantment. And yes, you'll be enchanted. The performance showcase will be taking place this weekend at the Artscape Opera House, and we are in for a treat today because joining Expresso to share a bit more about some of these incredible performances that you will see this weekend are the production's choreographer as well as founder, Elvis Sibeko Studio. This man is Elvis Sibeko, of course, and alongside the CEO of the Cape Town Philharmonic Orchestra, Louis Heinemann. Gentlemen, welcome to Expresso.
Thank you.
It's so great to have you both here. Two super talents in front of me. I auditioned for the show. Unfortunately, I didn't get through. Thank you so much for allowing me. Apparently, there was a little plie that I should have got right, but it's okay. I've forgotten about that. But let's start with you, Elvis. I mean, you've done this all over the world. I mean, like the Netherlands, you've experienced there. You've been making theatre with some of the most incredible South African theatre makers. Yeah. And now we get to a point where you're thinking, let's do something like this. How has your collective experience come to a point where you thought, let's put on a show like this?
Yeah, it comes a long way because the idea first started when I wanted to open my own company.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not like a corporate entertainment company, but yeah, it was inspired when I was in Netherlands performing there, choreographing, working there.
Yeah.
And I saw a gap in our theatre industry that most of the companies in South Africa, they are focusing on training, development, because we are still a developing country, which is good. But after that product has been manufactured, who buys it?
Yes.
Who employs those trainings? So I said, I'm going to open an entertainment company to get those trainees, get them a job, and we explore collaboration. So my company is based on that. And I just want to do musical. I'm a fan of musical theatre, but based in Afrocentric, Afrofuturism. So this part of the journey is for that as well.
Well, that's good because you're pushing the boundaries. Because if I think about it, you've got an album, Dance Can Dance.
Yes.
Beautiful album. But now, what has inspired you to say, let's take an album, take this body of music, and tap into theatre production as well, and see if they can live together. And I mean, this weekend we have the show. So how has that come together for you as somebody who, you got an album and now let's show people what the album can do?
I think it's quite an achievement. It's a dream come true because I created this album in level 5 lockdown last year. And the whole idea, it was to ignite the spirit of creators out there because everyone was at home. And I was like, me too, I want to contribute to what is happening in the world to motivate people because people were going to depression and all the stuff. Indeed. Then I said, I'm going to create this album. One of my vision was to see it to be a big production. And I wanted to collaborate with the Cape Town Philharmonic Orchestra, but I've never worked with them before. I said, you know what? I'm going to try my best to set up a proposal. And also, I've never staged my production at Artscape Opera House. And I said, I'm going to contact Artscape, Marlene Leroux, the CEO.
Yes.
And they've granted me the opportunity to use the Cape Town Opera.
Oh, man.
And they said, okay, Elvis, this is what we're going to do. There's the space, and take it from there. Then I also drafted a proposal for the Cape Town Philharmonic Orchestra, send it, and Louis Henneman was like, you know what, Elvis, let's talk.
Well, that's why we have him on the couch as well. It's great to have you, Louis. And you know, when it comes to the Cape Town Philharmonic Orchestra, you guys are absolutely spectacular. Now you have the Artscape as a backdrop, and you have this talented man over here. What was it about him that just made you say, yes, let's collaborate?
Well, you know, we, as an orchestra, can't sit in a little ivory tower and only play classic music. Those times are gone.
Yes.
We have to embrace everybody and the whole community. When Elvis approached me, he said, it's Afro-pop, and to be honest with you, I wasn't so sure what Afro-pop was. But once I listened to the tracks, he gave me some electronic tracks, I realized if we can get this orchestrated, and we have fantastic orchestrators in Cape Town.
Yes.
So I approached Damien Philander, and I said, can you work with us? And he said, yes, of course. And I had a vision, and I suppose I very easily understood Elvis's vision of a show with lights and visuals and a big orchestra sound. And from there, it was actually quite easy, because we got it together, and I could see the excitement when he heard the music for the first time.
Yeah. I can see his excitement right now. The show hasn't even begun, but this man he's glowing.
For us as professionals,
yes,
to put it together, to put the music together, the orchestra members just arrive there and play the music, and it's actually very interesting. It's a different kind of style. We haven't done this before, but that's what we need to do. We need to explore new horizons. So, and we have only a couple of days to put the show together, but the first time when the dancers and the orchestra came together, I just knew it's going to work and it's going to be fantastic. And maybe we are trying something new, a new avenue that become a kind of new art form. So it's the first Afro-pop for us with a modern dance group in the African idiom, but I'm very excited.
I can tell, and this is great because you've got a young talent, you've got an incredible orchestra, you've got a theatre production, you have everything you need for a phenomenal show. So I think this is going to be absolutely wonderful. Gentlemen, all the best for preparations. We can't wait to see some of the teaser performances right here on Expresso a little later, and do be sure not to miss out on this musical theatre experience like never before. I mean, this is going to be something that is going to make your weekend. The dance can dance, the spirit of enchantment. As you can hear, two men over here are very enchanted, and so could you be as well this weekend. It takes place on Friday the 14th and Saturday the 15th of May at the Artscape Opera House in Cape Town. Tickets are available from computicket.com right now. Support these talents. Dance can dance, and you'll see a little more of them right here on Expresso a little later. So open up with S3.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso on S3. Now, earlier this year, Nestle Smarties announced that they're switching to 100% recyclable paper packaging.
Well done. And I think to celebrate this move towards a more sustainable future, they collaborated with renowned recycling artist Mbongeni Buthelezi to create fun DIY origami pieces.
That's right. So we paid Mbongeni a visit to see his work and to talk about this collaboration.
My name is Mbongeni Buthelezi. I'm an artist. I live in Johannesburg. My studio is also in Johannesburg. What made me use waste material to make my art, it was just the lack of resources. You know, I didn't have money to buy paints and canvases and so on. It's expensive. To buy expensive materials like brushes and canvases doesn't translate into good art. So for me, I just thought that maybe, you know, there is other ways of exploring and experimenting in a different way. I use, you know, what is available. What inspires my art is life around me and what I see on a daily basis. Society experiences as well. You know, I also become part of it eventually. You know, so you know, that plays a huge role in inspiring the images that you see here. Planning on inspiring future artists for me, I think, with just the materials that I use in my work. I'm using plastics, and I started using this way back in 1991, when using recycled materials was even not fashionable at the time. And I think, you know, those who are willing to actually learn from what I'm doing, you know, they'll be able to pick up a thing or two for themselves. You know, you can always try something, take risks in life, be able to, you know, maybe hit the right note, you know, at some point. I think this is exactly what pushes me towards thinking that perhaps one day I'll be able to inspire, you know, young up-and-coming artists. My collaboration with Nestle Smarties was one of its kind. You know, something that I will never forget. To touch this paper packaging for the very first time, in the shape of the packaging itself, it allows one to take it far. One thing that could be done with it, because of its shape, is the origami. But to me, as an artist, you know, that is practicing on a full-time basis, it is also very, very useful and interesting to work with because of its color, you know, the quality. But I just, you know, look at it as something that needs to be introduced to the art world, you know, for artists to experiment with it, you know, and see what could possibly come out, you know, from this beautiful packaging. The quality of the paper, you know, the colors, to experiment, you know, with this fantastic material. It was such an honor. It's something that I truly enjoyed working on, and I believe that, you know, that packaging, I think it's something that needs to be considered, you know, as part of what artists use, you know, in their art in future.
Oh, so beautiful. I was just saying, I love that.
I know. Just absolutely breathtaking, and so glad that Mbongeni's gotten on board with something like this. I think these origami pieces, they really do teach the 3 R's, the reduce, reuse, and recycle. That's the key to sustainability.
That's right. And now we're asking you the question, what are you doing to be more sustainable?
You know, I, for one, drink more sustainable coffee. I think I can add that to the list over there. And did you know that around 80% of everything we throw away actually can be recycled? That's everything from waste paper, food packaging, to our beloved Expresso capsules. And the great thing about these capsules is that aluminium is infinitely recyclable. Proof of this is that 2/3 of all the aluminium ever produced is actually still in use today.
I think that's so awesome.
Yes, it is.
Reusing at the same time. Now, all you have to do is take your used capsules to your nearest Nespresso boutique or kiosk, and or you can hand it into your courier upon delivery of your new coffee pods. Now, recycling isn't all that the company is doing to create a more sustainable future. Yeah.
Indeed. Can I make you some Nespresso? I've got a beautiful.
Of course. What do we got for
I just
this
wanted to
morning?
ask you. I've got the Nicaragua.
Ah, the
You have to say
Nicaragua.
yes. Nicaragua is a beautiful thing. But he's such beautiful. I have to sorry. So when I say the accent changes, I'm sorry.
You're taking me there, Carl. Keep going. Don't stop.
But you smell those aromas. They're actually beautiful. And just to let you know more about sustainability, you know, the operations have been carbon neutral since 2017, and they aim to have the entire supply chain from tree to cup carbon neutral by 2022, which is absolutely fantastic.
Well, on top of that, Carl, they also invested more than 165 million rand into sustainability projects. So you know that there's something beautiful happening for our future. And at the same time, they planted more than 2.83 million, Carl, not trillion, million. Yes, right. 1 million trees in Colombia, Ethiopia, and Guatemala. So, of course, we are re-energizing and reproducing the good stuff that this earth needs at the same time.
Indeed.
It's helping us breathe, man.
That is, you know, so it's okay to do, you have to understand that when you drink something, it's not just consumerism. This is about sustainability as well. Sorry, I just went back to that accent. I apologize.
Fine. I'm here for it, man. I love it. Keep going.
What is in this Nicaragua?
You need to get on some of this. It's such a beautiful taste. I love the balance. The Arabicas here are also just something that, for me, Klein Vrydag is sorted when I've got this. Klein Vrydag. I was going to say Klein Thursday.
That is a different accent, though, but as long as you know that one of these beautiful things, though, it is sustainable, it is delicious, and it's full-bodied and gorgeous. I need to make myself one as well. I'm going to get there. I'm going to go for a beautiful espresso. Cheers. Thank you for joining us on Expresso. Open up. I love these.
I do too, man. Oh, yes.
With every cup, we cultivate some of the finest coffee in the world, celebrating farmers as artists, elevating every coffee moment. Because with every cup, precious coffee preserves the beauty of our world. Nespresso, what else?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You might see the excitement on my face. Why? Because I absolutely love the developments being made in women's rugby. Rugby history, in fact, was made on Saturday when the 2021 Women's Rugby Premier Division kicked off with the first 3 pool matches being streamed live and televised for the very first time. No pressure. So despite suffering a 38-6 loss to their Cape Town rivals, Western Province, the Boland Dames, they remained positive about turning the season around at this early stage and ultimately just savouring every moment of being on field. And this morning we are joined by Boland Dames team members. We've got Tracy Lee DeVette, Eloise Webb, Aseza Hele, along with team manager Michelle Bosch. And ladies, what a pleasure to have you here. I want to say welcome to TV, but you've been on TV. No pressure, playing in front of millions of people. That is awesome. It's such a shot in the arm for women's rugby, and I know how much effort that has to go into this because you're not fully professional. You've still got to maintain life outside of this. But maybe, Tracy Lee, I can start with you. What was that feeling like, knowing that you were going to be playing in front of television audience and being back in the fold? What was that day like, despite the loss, which commiserations for that?
I don't think you can explain the feeling. I mean, yes, we lost, but it was a big win for women's rugby in South Africa.
For sure.
And it's really just, it was an emotional day for all of us. I've been in the system for 13 years this year, and it never happened before. So going into the game, we are playing against it's a derby. And we just wanted to put everything in there, and on top of that, we got a giant leap for women's rugby.
No, kudos for that. And like you say, it's a coming of age. And with TV coverage comes better sponsorship, becomes structures, systems that support. Eloise, first of all, sorry, man. When you say gave it your all, you clearly gave it your all. What happened? How are you doing injury-wise?
I'm doing good. I'll be out for a little bit. But that's fine. That's part of the game, I suppose. Yeah, we can't run away from that. So, yeah.
Well, you can try to run away, but then they obviously caught you, and then it was...
Obviously, I'm not quick enough, eh?
Short bursts. How do you find that balance? Because you've got to manage your normal life outside of rugby, and yet you've still got to give it your all. How do you find the balance?
100%. Rugby is part of our lives. We do it because we love it so much. So everything we do it for rugby, actually. So we want to grow the game as much as possible. And like you said, Saturday was a huge improvement for women's rugby. How privileged were we to be on TV for the first time in interprovincial rugby for women? So I think in our daily lives, we still go on with life as women do, but rugby is a big part of it. So everything we do it for rugby as well.
To get there, to get to practice, to possibly make it into the Springbok team. Cesar, you get to play rugby on different levels. Obviously, the provincial game is incredibly difficult and competitive. How cool would it be for you to play at a Rugby World Cup? What are the dreams? What are your aspirations for your women's rugby career?
I think, yeah, you said it, it's a different version. In international, it's a bit tough,
hardcore.
A lot of tough, yeah. But yeah, I could say it's going to be a big experience for us to be there and like gain a lot of experience, because we've never been to World Cup, some of us. It's going to be my first time as well. So yeah, it's a big, shocking, exciting as well, but scared at the same time, nervous, everything, it's mixed emotions. So yeah, but I think we will have a great time and great experience.
And you will grow. You're never going to know until you know. And
yes.
That's the thing. You need to face the best in the world. And there are support structures with global teams that far exceed ours, which makes what you guys are doing so important. Michelle, it applies to provincial level as well. You're not going to know where you need to go until you've actually been out there and you've tested yourself against your old foes, Western Province. I'm sure some major lessons learned. I think it's next the Sharks and then the Bulls. I mean, it's a derby game in almost every encounter here. What do you need to do this season? What are your focus areas for this team?
Well, at this stage, I think it's just to go after their game, to go back to the drawing board with the coaches. Unfortunately, due to COVID,
It's tough.
Yeah, two of our players had to sit out. They were two key players. But that's fine. That's absolutely fine. We learned something out of the game. We took something home with us. But that's not going to deter any of these ladies. This is a family. Boland is not just a rugby team. They are, each and every person in this game has brought something to the field. So yeah, we'll stay focused. Obviously, this is a question more for the coach. But yeah, these girls know exactly what they must do, and it's their time to shine. We, in the background, we try and get them where they need to be, but now it's up to them. So we're holding thumbs, but I'm positive. I'm positive for a good season for us.
It's your time to shine in front of millions of people on live TV. Yeah, let it sink in. I absolutely love it. I know how hard you guys have worked to get to this point. So congratulations on this advent within women's rugby. On your personal career journeys, all the best of luck. Stay safe, stay uninjured if you can. Just stay on the field at some point. But I have no doubt we'll be connecting again many times over the course of this next season and chatting pre-World Cup about
yes,
those sorts of developments. But I think an unbelievable opportunity for women's rugby to shine now when there is such a huge focus on South African rugby. We need that legacy to tip over into the women's games. So as you can see, from young girls upwards, it is changing lives. So we need to welcome more people into the family.
So, mesmerizing. I'm loving the fact that from the rugby field, those ladies are doing phenomenal things. And now it's time to give you a performance that you will never, ever forget. And this is a little taster from the upcoming Dance Can Dance showcase that'll be at the Artscape Opera House this weekend. Now singing to, or should I say dancing to, Elvis Sebeko's Kuamka, which means awakening, which is a beautiful, beautiful song that you'll hear now. We have some incredible dancers from the Indoni Dance Arts and Leadership Academy from all over the Western Cape. The choreography is from Taisha Amsterdam, and you are in for a treat. This is Kuamka. Open up with S3.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. You're opening up here with S3 and we are live on the Expresso show, and we've seen these magicians and these powerhouses earlier on, and in order to play rugby, you need to train for rugby. Now, the demand for the sport is very specific. Depending on your position on the field, you'd need to train tackling, line-out, scrumming, sprinting, the list goes on. So this morning, the Boland Dames, who are currently participating in the Women's Rugby Premier Division, will be showing us how they train to be match day ready. And I've got Tracy and Asez over here. I'm scared, ladies. You've got to be easy on me. And remember, we've got to share this one with Mzansi, okay? But I've got to ask before we get into it, loose forward, right?
Yeah, number 8.
Number 8. So
yes.
you've got a balance of like strength and speed, and you're a front row, right? So you've got power, you've got the strength. I'm here to learn from you guys, so the stage is yours. So what are we doing today?
Okay, normally, for ours, we only doing like scrums a lot.
Yeah.
So we will be doing some techniques for scrums and all that for your core and for the whole full body actually.
Yes,
so
I'm
we
here
will,
for it.
yeah, doing crawl. So just on your fours.
Going on my fours,
Yeah.
all right. So we're doing the technique for like
Yes,
a...
for the scrum.
Okay,
Yes.
for the scrum,
So-
if there's a maul or something happening maybe.
Yes.
Coffee
right?
table.
Coffee table,
Yes, with your
okay.
back flat. Yes, so we're going to go left.
You look up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're going to go left. We go left.
Hang
go.
on just a second. Before I go anywhere, this is not easy.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it already. Am I supposed to
You
feel
can
my
feel it.
core
Yeah, it's
and the
burning.
quads
Yes,
as well?
yes, yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, just to make sure, Mzansi, if you're feeling this already, that's fine. That's
But you
normal.
gotta look up,
We're
Nick,
not
all
super
the
saiyans
time.
like these ladies over here. All right.
Yes.
So I'm looking up. I'm in my position now. What's next?
You're going left. We're going left. Go.
Who's left? My left.
Okay, go your left. Go left,
Okay.
left.
I
And we
see.
start there, look up, stay looking up, and then we're going right.
Look
Yes,
at how
we're going
Aziza's
forward.
just chilling in this position.
We're going forward. Going forward. And we're going to go back.
Back.
So I'm feeling a lot of tension on my shoulders
Yeah,
as well right now. Is that
We're going to
correct?
go left again.
Okay.
Left.
When can I stop?
You can go forward. You can go forward.
Okay.
Forward.
And that's it.
And now I'm imagining you're not only doing this as an exercise, but you're doing this against somebody else. You're pushing against them and not trying to support your own body as well.
Only 30 seconds.
Oh, was that
You're doing
easy?
for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, wow. So that's something I know is like a bear crawl. And for me, I feel that works like your stabilizers, your core, your shoulders. I'd imagine that's important for you when you're going up against some other forwards as well. Brilliant exercise, nice stuff. Have you got another for me?
Yes, there's one for your upper body, just to loosen yourself up a little bit. But you feel it burning after a while. So let's go. We're going here.
We're here for the burn, all right. Let's
One.
make some social distancing
Yes,
exercise.
yes.
I like this one, all right.
So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4,
Okay.
5, 6. We're pushing up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We open up just your thumbs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to go again. 1, 2.
So
You
this
never-
one I'm feeling on the chest here and the shoulders, right?
Yeah.
And this is, I'm feeling the burn.
Yeah.
Gonna flex a bit.
And then again, the shoulders for pressing, I'd imagine maybe in a line out, you want to lift up your player.
Yes, and we
Love
are now.
this. And then rotator cuffs, obviously, this
Yes.
is for stabilization and strength. You guys are smiling here. I'm burning. Are you also feeling this, or is it just me?
It's just you.
Okay, I clearly need to work on Mzansi. You guys need to too as well, so let's keep doing these exercises. How many reps or how long would you do this for exactly?
It depends. Maybe 3 sets for like 6 reps and all that, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm feeling a proper burn in my shoulders. This is a lekker feeling, all right. I'm loving this. I gotta ask, is there one more that you can share with us so that we can maybe, just maybe, get it close to the power and the speed that you guys possess on the field? What have you got for us? Anything cool? I'm putting you on the spot here. What about if your backliners, they need some speed, right? So they need some good leg drive, some lunges, some
basically
squats.
for hands.
So that's skill work. All right. Well, ladies, I can't thank you enough for this. This has been incredible. I want to get down and do that movement again because I felt that one. So how do we do this? We're going down on our all fours, knees are in the air, and looking up.
Up, yes.
Right, Mzansi, joining me now. Let's go left.
Left.
Ugh.
Right. We have to be fast.
I hope your coach is
Forward,
watching. You wanna make this team.
forward.
Got to get into that first team.
You get it
Yep.
up, stay low.
Stay low. Okay, yes, coach. Yes, coach.
Mzansi, guys, that's all that it's about. Of course, these ladies are an absolute inspiration. I can't thank you enough for what you're doing, not only for yourselves, but the sport in general. You are literally an inspiration to women in this country, and I can't wait to see how far you actually go in this. It's going to be incredible, and I'm excited. And there you go, Mzansi. It's all about moderation, and after a week of healthy eating and and strong workouts, we all deserve a classic treat. Check it out.
So, we've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic!
A classic range from Clover. Timeless taste.
Made with love by Clover.
Well, this is how you level the playing ground, right? Okay.
You know, there are words I
Breaks
want to
my
say,
back.
but I realize it's national TV, so I can't say them, but it's all right. But you know what? Even Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, they had a thing like this, okay? So it's fine.
They
But
did.
we are excited because while, you know, short and tall recipes are beautiful, this is the one that you're going to have to focus on.
It's beautiful because it only needs 6 ingredients. This is our quick and easy classic baked apple cake that will really just, you know, it will be ready in no time, and it is best served with our Clover Classic custard, because I can't think of any dessert that, you know, that doesn't go with Clover Classic custard.
And I mean, I think that you and I are the perfect people to make this recipe because the recipe will not be a tall order and it's a short cooking time as well.
There we
which
go.
Is always good. So, what we have here, I want you to do me a big favor. I've got some sugar in the bowl over there. You're going to be
Sugar.
adding the eggs there, and I want you to whisk that up nicely because I want that nice and aerated.
There we go.
What that does, it just contributes to a more sort of a lighter result when you are going to put it in the oven. At the moment, I'm going to hoy some apples. I'm going to give them a wedge cut on the apples, just so. And what we'll do with the apples later is that we're going to line them on the bottom of our baking container or tray, because the thing is, we're going to flip it over. All right?
Okay.
You're going to exactly. So this
And
is
then
gonna
our
be
apples are at the
beautiful.
top.
Yes, and this is the key to it. So what you're doing while you're aerating that, so I want you to aerate. There we go. That's it.
This is the arm workout. Yesterday was arms. I'm tired. Is it in the wrist?
Yes, the wrist. There we go. That's the aeration for the nation on this TV station. Perfect. Right. So while you're doing that, I just know that the other ingredients there, you got some dry ones. Are you okay there?
This is
when your arm
tiring.
goes lump, you've done it. Enough. So that's the whole idea with the
So
recipe.
can I now add our milk?
You may now add some of the dry ingredients there as well.
Should I add the
great.
dry ingredients first?
Yes, do the dry ingredients in the milk. I want to get a nice batter to that because you're going to pour it over the apples, which is great. The great thing about this particular stage is that in that flour, you can add some of the warmer spices. So if you've got an occasional thing, maybe Easter, Christmas is coming up, you can go a bit of nutmeg in there, you got to go a bit of cinnamon. You can spice it up with allspice as well. It's entirely up to you. A little chef's tip if you want to create a warmer outcome and that sort of beautiful flavor. So it's really versatile. Whatever time of the year, you got this covered, which is always great.
Okay, so now I'm adding our dry ingredients, which is our flour.
And I want a nice sort of batter that comes out of that as well. And you also added the vanilla in there too. So once you've done the apples, you're going to place them on the bottom as well. The reason why we place them on the bottom, because that direct heat is going to cook your apples first. And it's also going to be just really beautiful at the end because you're going to flip it over.
You could have made me cut the apples.
I just wanted
and
to
you
see
could have done this.
Okay, by the way, it's aerated, just perfect. Thank you so much. What you'll do is once you got the batter on top of your apples in the tray, you're going to cook it down 10 to 15 minutes in 180. Every oven's different, so I would suggest that when you wrap things up and you're going to check it, do the skewer test just to make sure the skewer comes out clean. Otherwise, you're going to have to go in for a bit more minutes if that is not the end result over there. So, great. By the way, could you please continue? Because, I mean, we don't want to mess up the recipe
This is worse than a
now.
workout with dumbbells.
That's it. That's perfect. Could you? It's not turning. You get. Thank you. Perfect. That's it. That's it. I just feel like you're not working hard enough on this recipe.
I'm working
By the way, why are
as
you
hard as I can. Listen, this dress is going to start showing.
Why are you sweating? Jeebus. So once the apples are cut down, I got a good base in the apples over here. Remember, we're going to have this recipe available to you on expressoshow.com. But remember, apples are sorted out. And now I want you to pour it over that, please. 180 is ready to go nice and evenly all over. Oh, that's great. So you're going to hit that 180, 10 to 15. You're going to do the skewer test. If you need longer, that'll tell you all you need to know.
We don't waste around
we
here.
do not waste.
We do not waste
Despite my
anything.
surname. That's right,
go.
because we're going to brown this nicely in the oven.
That's
it's
how you
amazing how
get-
surnames sometimes work with cooking. That's so great. It really
The
is.
perfect combination.
Indeed, hey? And it's batter and it's banter, which is always good for the kitchen. Once you're done with that, it's going into the oven.
Obviously, just
and-
make sure the apples are completely covered.
Okay, there we go. So we're going to do the shake.
Now you just
That's it.
Shook all my air out.
That's right. She shook it nicely. Okay, it's going in there.
That's
it's sorted.
the oven.
And the magic of TV. Shoo. We're going to go right to this side, which is beautiful. I want you to come all the way this side. Look at that. We made that together. Served with Clover classic custard.
There we go. Okay,
You want
I
to
have
taste?
to try it. Of course I have to try it.
See, and look here, we made this. This is great.
I think you should try it.
Should I try this?
Yeah, and then I'll tell you about
fun.
how to make life
That's
so
great.
much more
I love
sweeter.
how I asked you to try it, and now you tell me that I must try it. That's great.
So while you
Okay.
indulge in that, to make this treat even sweeter, remember that you still stand the chance to win 50,000 Rand when you find the Golden Bunny on a Clover Classic Custard promotional pack. So just like lucky winner Esther, that she did that. And the competition runs until the end of May. So go on and find that Golden Bunny. T's and C's do apply, and those can be found on clover.co.za. And if you will be giving this classic recipe if you do want to give it a go and you've missed any of the steps. We do have a quick recap for you, but the recipe can also be found on our website. That's expressoshow.com. Feedback?
Feedback. It's delicious. I'll cook with you any day. I love talking about mouthful.
Made with love by Clover. Oh, you can make my day.
Strap yourself in to this hand-built 5-liter sedan. An engineering marvel that could drive your spend into the red. Accelerating your lifestyle beyond your means. In this world of chasing status, do you want a bank that takes your money? Or a bank that takes your money seriously?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
The Cup Sani to See is the oldest and much loved 3-day mountain bike stage race, offering 263 kilometers of grueling, yes, but spectacular trails that takes place in KwaZulu-Natal. Since its inception, the race has provided for communities along that stunning route, which makes it even more amazing, I think.
It does indeed. Now, the Sani to See is more than just a ride. It's because every year the event enables diverse groups of people to get together to provide services and products along the route as an opportunity for them to earn money. So we're going to be chatting to our cyclist, Francois Eberson, who will be embarking on the 263-kilometer trail and is powered by Clover Super M for the event this year. And I think he's live. I think he's with us. Let's say good morning to you, brother. How are you doing?
Good morning, gents. Well on yourselves.
Very good, man. Very, very good. Really excited to be connecting with you about what really has become an amazing, I think, yes, race in itself, but also what it does for the communities along the route is even better. You've done the Sani to Sea before. What were some of the challenges along a route like that? Because it's quite an extensive route, yes, along some pretty hectic kind of trails. What was that experience like?
It's 3 days. You get to know yourself. We're doing the adventure this year, which is, it's not as racy as the 3 days race. So hopefully we'll see a bit more along the route than in previous years. Experiences-wise, as you guys alluded to, it's the people along the route. On all 3 of these days, you've got these crowds of locals supporting you. And they're so proud of the single track that they have built along the way down to Scottsboro. So, yeah, it's amazing to experience places and on your bicycle that you haven't seen before, that you never be if it wasn't for the race. Challenges you face, staying in a small little 2-man tent with your partner, your adventure or your race partner. You get to know each other very intimately. Hopefully the weather is great this year. We've had years where the weather was a bit atrocious. And that's part of your challenges you'll have.
I mean, you're mentioning things that I love, which tickle my fancy, but you also mentioned the race and everything around it. But what about the Sani to Sea represents something important to you? And what is it that actually initially even got you motivated in it to begin with?
I think you as a cyclist, you tend to be a bit of a masochist because you get onto a little thing that you have to self-propel. And then eventually you challenge yourself, and then people like Farmer Glenn Hall, that's the original organizer of the Sani to Sea, comes with this amazing, crazy challenge over 3 days where you have to ride your bicycle from the foothills of the Sani Pass all the way down to the coast. And then you go and you see, well, let's see, can I do it? What's along the way? And then you get hooked and you come back year after year because of the event that's so amazingly organized, because of the people and the people you meet at the event. Because being a cyclist and being to a lot of these events, you know a lot of people, but then you catch up again, you network, you meet new people. That's why I think we tend to go back and back and back, because you hurt yourself to an extent by challenging yourself, but that's part of the fun.
It's your community, and it's really cool. So for those who don't know, there are obviously costs involved in the 3-day event that you spend cycling on the trail, from obviously shuttle services, catering, bike washing, depending on the weather, which in turn then obviously provides income for other families, which is so important. How important is it to have a sponsor like Clover Super M on board to back you guys up?
And it makes a massive difference. Just the event. There's a cost involved for a 2-man team, or you can ride solo. So that in itself is already a huge cost. But that then goes back to the community. The shuttle service, like you mentioned, goes back to the community. Catering. If you go to the event and you just sit back and you look at the massive behind-the-scenes organization, and how many people out of the community has been pulled into this event, and how many people in the community look forward to this event every year. Absolutely amazing. And you see how many places Clover is involved, how many schools along the way Clover is involved with. 3 years ago, we finished and we were sitting at the school having a cool drink and drinking, or a Super M, I think it was as well. The headmaster of the school came along and he thanked us for everything that Clover does for the school. And then you realize how Deep Tracks sponsors like Clover and other sponsors have in these communities. And these communities, it's difficult to survive without the involvement of people like Clover and other sponsors that like CUP coming on board at the Sani.
Completely. I think that's corporate social investment at its best. Francois, all the best of luck, my friend. I hope you have beautiful weather. I hope you stay injury-free, and I hope you revel in being able to be with your community again. It's been an absolute pleasure connecting with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate the time. Really appreciate it.
Now, I'm wishing you, of course, so much luck in your participation in the worthy cause of the Sani to See. And I think it really, truly is just, it's so much more than just a ride. And I got to give a huge thank you to Clover Super M for their help in making this incredible event happen.
Yeah, and if your interest has been piqued like the two of us and you're keen to get involved and see how you can help that Sani to See community, I suggest you go and visit Sani2, that's the number 2c.co.za for a wealth of information, and do it now.
Thanks a lot, G. And it's time to take a look at your news, the final wrap-up for the morning. So the Western Cape's MEC for Health, Noma French Mbombo, thanked nurses on International Nurses Day for their hard work and dedication. The birthday of the founder of modern nursing in 1820, Florence Nightingale, was celebrated yesterday. Mbombo says nurses nationwide form the basis of the modern health system. She said they were usually a patient's first contact at birth and also the last person to care for patients at the time of death. Mbombo said nurses carry out the instructions of other professional medics who only visit patients briefly. Voters can register for October 27th's local government elections during the weekend of the July 17th, and 18th. The Electoral Commission will only hold one registration weekend compared to the usual 2 weekends. This is due to budget constraints. Voters can also register during normal working hours at local offices of the Commission until the election is announced. More than 23,000 polling stations will be open nationwide from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. On Wednesday, there will be by-elections in 7 of the provinces. 145 candidates from 29 political parties will participate. Now, moving on to international news, Zimbabwe is planning to introduce a law to punish people who are deemed, quote, unpatriotic because they criticize the country when abroad. People seen as unpatriotic for allegedly undermining the national interest abroad could face criminal charges if the measures being considered are passed. The move is part of a plan to improve the government's international reputation, but campaigners and opposition parties argue it is another, quote, vehicle of oppression. However, those who back the proposed patriotic bill, as it has been dubbed, say that it is about national cohesion. The deadly exchange of fire between Palestinian militants in the Gaza Strip and the Israeli military has escalated significantly, with the UN fearing a full-scale war. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres said he was gravely concerned by the ongoing violence. Meanwhile, the Palestinian organization Hamas has confirmed that its military chief was killed in an Israeli airstrike in the city of Gaza. At least 53 Palestinians and 6 Israelis have been killed since Monday. The fighting is because of the possible eviction of Palestinian families from their homes in East Jerusalem. And next, news of a huge honor for a top SA professor. A huge honor has befall Professor Qoraisha Abdul Karim, Pro-Vice Chancellor for African Health at the University of the KwaZulu-Natal and Associate Scientific Director of the Center for the AIDS Program of Research in South Africa. She has been appointed to serve in the United Nations high-level 10-member group as co-chair in support of the technology facilitation mechanism to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. Her prestigious and distinguished appointment positions SA as an integral partner on the UN Global Agenda for Science, Innovation and Technology Development. Abdul Karim is also a National Research Foundation A1 rated scientist and an infectious diseases epidemiologist. She joins eminent and distinguished individuals from civil society, the private sector and the scientific community appointed by the UN Secretary General following an extensive selection process. She is the wife of Professor Salim Abdul Karim, who until recently was chair of the Ministerial Advisory Committee on COVID-19. The Abdul Karims, both age 60, are also internationally renowned for their contribution to COVID-19 research. That's wrap up your news on Expresso for the morning. Let's jump on to some sport. Here's Graham.
Football dominating once again this morning, and we were treated to some great midweek footballing action locally. Supersport United, Maritzburg United, they recorded midweek PSL wins, while Kaizer Chiefs recorded their 12th draw of the season. So Supersport beating newly crowned Nedbank Cup champions Chakuma Chamadzivandila 1-0, and Maritzburg sealing a 3-2 win over Golden Arrows in a 5-goal thriller. So the Amakosi and Swallows FC, they drew 1 apiece at the FNB Stadium, while the fixtures between Chippa United and Black Leopards and Bloem Celtic and Cape Town City, they played out to goalless draws. Then staying with the beautiful game, Miguel Arteta's Arsenal secured a 1-0 win over Chelsea thanks to a single goal by Emile Smith-Rowe at Stamford Bridge. So after that result, the Blues remain in 4th on the Premier League standings on 64 points, while the Gunners, they are in 8th, just 1 point behind Tottenham Hotspur in 7th, all chasing down those Europa League spots. Then there'll be 2 Premier League fixtures tonight as Aston Villa face Everton at 7 p.m. Then the big one one. Manchester United hosting Liverpool at 9:15. And then finally on to tennis, still looking his best. 20-time Grand Slam champion Rafa Nadal has now opened his bid to win a 10th Italian Open title after easing past teenager Yannick Sinner 7-5, 6-4 yesterday. So the world number 3 has now advanced to the round of 16, where he will face Canadian Denis Shapovalov, and that's later today. Then in the women's draw, major shock, Serena Williams suffering a shock loss in her 1000th tour level match of her career. Argentina's Nadia Podoroska beating the 23-time Grand Slam winner 7-6, 7-5. That was in their second round tie of the Italian Open. And that's a wrap of your sport for this Thursday morning. A chance now to take one last look at some of your beautiful sunrise pictures and get a take on today's weather.
Let's do just that, G, and it's the end credits of some incredible sunrise photos. Thank you to all of our viewers that have shared their breathtaking sunrise vistas this week. We love getting a glimpse into your part of your beautiful country. And kicking us off this morning, we received this image from Candace Sylvester from Neisner, showing the sun casting a golden glow over the area as it rises. It made all of our day. Thank you so much for that. Charles Samuel shared this lovely image of clouds scattered across the sky as it becomes a little lighter. And then Geraldine Flatwell from Simonstown shared this gorgeous and moody image of the sun rising over the ocean. Myra Scarola, who was traveling to KZN, shared this stunning photo of the sun casting its rays through the clouds and across the sky. Thank you very, very much for all of those sunrise photos. They will all be printed out and posted up on the Expresso Show Facebook page. Now, please do continue to share those sunrise photos on that Facebook page. We love to see how you start your day, and don't forget to add the location so we can give you a quick update on the weather in that area. So while we enjoy experiencing a sunrise from your part of South Africa, we also love our international viewers so much. Those of you who are tuning in on YouTube as well as Africa Channel in the US of A, good morning to you. We report on the weather from San Jose, California. It is the cultural, financial and political center of the Silicon Valley, as well as the largest city in Northern California by both population and area. Now, San Jose is one of the wealthiest major cities in the United States and the world, and has the third highest GDP per capita in the world. The city also lies between the San Andreas Fault and the Calaveras Fault. It is shaken by moderate earthquakes on average 1 or 2 times a year. Today, you can expect areas of low clouds, which will clear as the day progresses to a sunny and pleasant day with a maximum of 24 degrees Celsius. On to some news from, I'm going to say, out of this world. A time capsule containing a sample of rock and dirt as old as the solar system itself will drop from outer space in the US's Utah desert, and that'll be on the 24th of September 2023. That's what NASA has explained for its historic OSIRIS-REx asteroid probe, which began its trek home earlier this week. Its precious cargo of 60 grams of ancient debris from the near-Earth asteroid Bennu is the largest sample collected since the Apollo moon missions. Scientists believe it may provide clues on the formation of the solar system more than 4.5 billion years ago. The spacecraft launched in 2016 off the Florida coastline with its destination, the asteroid Bennu, some 297 kilometers away. Bennu is about half a kilometer wide at its equator and makes a close approach to Earth every 6 years. Once the capsule touches down, it will be taken to NASA's Johnson Space Center facility in Houston, Texas for a further study. And NASA has said it explains, or should I say its plans, on keeping 75% of these samples for future generations to study with technologies not yet created. A smart idea for the future. It's time to take a look at the future of your temperatures today, and we're going to start you off as always in Polokwane. 6 is your low. That will rise to a high of 25 degrees Celsius. Bombela, top of the morning, 11 to 28 for you. Pretoria, 9 to 26, no chance of rain. Johannesburg, good morning, 24 the max. That's from a low of 6. Mahikeng, just 7 this morning, rising to 28 degrees Celsius. Klerksdorp, 6 to 27. Kimberley, 9 to 26 for you. Bloemfontein, 3, rising to 25. Richards Bay peaks at 29 a little later, 16 this morning. Pietermaritzburg, 11 to a high of 30 degrees Celsius, still a bit warm on that side. Durban, 17 to 28. Mthatha, 30 for you as well as a max from a minimum of 9. East London, 12 to 24. Cradock, 8 to 30. Gqeberha, 11 to 21. George, you can expect just 19 as a maximum from a low of 10. Cape Town, also just 19 as a max from a low of 12. Worcester, 14 to 26. Sutherland, 7, rising to 20. And then Uppington, wrapping up with you as always. 14 is your low, and that rises to 30 a little later this afternoon. That's a wrap up of your temperatures for now, and that's your weather forecast. Remember to keep on sending those sunrise photos as we get on to some extremely entertaining people on Expresso.
And it is certainly entertaining. And here singing her original song, Ndihlela Ndiyehlela, there we go, alongside dancers from the Elvis Sibeko studios. Here is Zimbini herself.
Themba kodwa ndaphinda ndazitenga ndasama ukubhala kodwa usiba lwam luyaxinga encwadini lixele kuba lilima kumhlaba womile omile impumelelo ayikho ndiyehlela ndicela njengoba qabasa nemvula ndizongena kuvaliwe
Feel-good breakfast show. She's going to be one of the multitude of talented people performing at Dance Can Dance this weekend at the Artscape. So be sure not to miss a musical theatre experience like never before. The Dance Can Dance, that's the Spirit of Enchantment performance. That showcase takes place on Friday the 14th and Saturday the 15th of May at the Artscape Opera House in Cape Town. Tickets are available and you can get them from computicket.com. Stick around for one more brilliant performance from this group of amazing talents, and you do not want to miss out on anything on your Feel Good Breakfast show.
It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, and open up to new possibilities and new information. And we're talking all things pets this morning. But before we turn to the whole keeping exotic wild animals as pets, is it actually a good idea? Is it even allowed? And Dr. Andrew Taylor, the manager of the Endangered Wildlife Trust's Wildlife in Trade program, joined us for a couple of answers that I think that we all could actually hear right now. Dr. Andrew Taylor, welcome.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
It's good to have you. Good to see you. I'm wondering, is that a real bird behind you or not? Looks pretty surreal to me. I love that background.
Yeah,
man.
it's just a photo.
Well played, man. So look, Andrew, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's great to have you. And I'm going to dive straight into it and ask you, what is exactly an exotic or alien animal versus something like an indigenous animal?
Yeah, so an indigenous animal or an indigenous species is one that occurs naturally in an area. So within South Africa, that would be a species that has occurred here naturally, historically, and that has not been introduced by humans. So examples could be things like lions, elephants, vervet monkeys, blue cranes. In the reptile sector, things like sun gazer, lizards. Those would be indigenous species. And then exotic or alien species, those are ones that are not indigenous. So they did not occur naturally in an area historically. And generally they've been introduced by humans, sometimes accidentally, sometimes on purpose. And very obvious examples would be things like tigers, capuchin monkeys. In the bird section, things like common miners. So people in Joburg will be very familiar with common miners. They're actually exotic species. And in the pet section, something like hedgehog tenrecs. So you go into a pet shop and you see what looks like a hedgehog, and it's actually not a hedgehog, it's a tenrec from Madagascar.
So when I look at pop culture, we see this in the movies. You mentioned tiger and you mentioned a certain monkey. Those are both in the Hangover movie. Of course, this kind of affects people. But I think it's important for us to understand what are examples of threatened exotic animals, just to educate ourselves before we make very, very poor decisions on the type of pets we keep.
Yeah, so, I mean, a threatened species is one that has been determined by, so there's a world organization called the IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature, and they have a process they call the red listing process, which does an assessment of the level of threat of a species in the wild. So I think commonly known species examples would be things like rhinos, pandas, tigers. Those are things that are very threatened in the wild. And so if we're talking about a threatened exotic species, it could be something like a tiger, for example. So they don't occur here, so they're exotic, but we do have them here. Some people keep them here as pets, but they're very highly threatened in the wild. So, you know, if you're involved with something like a pet trade that includes tigers, and that tiger has been taken out of the wild, that you could be contributing towards the threat status of that species.
Wow, this is interesting stuff. Now, I've seen some crazy stuff online where people are like showcasing a tiger as a pet or some sort of a crazy exotic animal. So do you need some sort of a permit to keep an exotic wild animal as a pet? And what are some of the current legal regimes that are in place with this whole space?
So it actually, funnily enough, it depends on which province you're in. So some of the provinces, including Gauteng, for example, you do not actually need a permit to keep an exotic animal, just in terms of keeping it sort of in your house. So that might seem very strange, but that is the case for 4 of the provinces. But there are other 5 provinces, the southern provinces, so the Capes and the Free State and KZN, you do require a permit. But sorry, what was the second part of your question again?
So I just wanted to ask you, are there any sort of like regimes involved, like when I actually want to have a pet, you're saying it's fine that we can keep them if we are in Gauteng and the southern areas?
Yeah. What? So legally speaking, so there's national legislation around wildlife, and then there is provincial legislation. And the national legislation doesn't actually cover wildlife as pets. And I think that's probably something that needs to be addressed. But so the provinces are the ones that do that. So 4 of the provinces don't really require permits for keeping exotic pets. Yeah.
Sure.
So, of course, we do have a part 2, and I think it's important for us to talk about some of the consequences legally if people are oblivious to the rules and keeping exotic animals. So, Dr. Andrew Taylor, thank you very much for joining us. And, of course, we'll pick up on this conversation a little later with regard to these exotic, wild and endangered animals being kept as pets on Expresso. So stick around for part 2.
Thanks.
Now, we all know that our furry friends are more like four-legged kids, certainly in my case, so why not treat them to some new pet accessories from the Crazy Store? And their range of pet products will ensure your dog or your cat gets all the love, attention and stimulation that they deserve.
Definitely, but that's not all. The Crazy Store is also giving back to animals in need, so let's take a look.
Listen to that beautiful sound in chorus. Yes, we are surrounded by our four-legged friends today and we're loving it. But it really does bring home the point that we humans aren't the only ones who have felt the effects, the burden of COVID-19, the economic effects, what it's done to us. Our four-legged friends have also borne the brunt of that as well. And while, yes, things are improving a little bit, there is still a lot that can be done and must be done now by us to improve the situation in our own neighborhoods, in fact, communities across the country.
Yeah, man, that's right. And that's why we are here together with our friends at the Crazy Store to not only give back some of our time, but also some essential and much needed cleaning items and products. Now, it ranges all the way from blankets, we've got food, we've got everything when it comes to cleaning products too, and it's everything that dog needs. Now, this is just perfect. It's a place where both cats and dogs can get a second chance at life.
Let's go meet our new friends, man.
Let's go. Faustina, firstly, I can't thank you enough for having myself and G. We literally feel like little kids again. So excited to just explore and see some of the beautiful furry animals that you have. But before we get into it, I've got to ask, what is DOG all about and what are you guys doing here?
Well, we are essentially an adoption facility. We're also a sanctuary for abused, neglected and abandoned dogs and cats. At present, we have over 100 dogs here and over 60 cats, and we have our farm animals as well. We're a safe sanctuary for the animals that need us.
Now, I know for you guys, it's a 24-hour gig. For us, just a moment in the day of the life of, but I'm hoping we can get a taste of how your very hard-working volunteers and staff here do what you do. So what do you suggest we sink our teeth into?
Well, we're definitely planning on putting you to work. So we're going to have you clean one of our dogs' kennels. That's going to be James. And then we've got adorable little kittens and they need their room cleaned, so you're going to be doing that as well. And then, yeah, if weather permits, we'd love to have you walk some of our dogs because they love their walks.
We are up for it. What I love about DOG is that there's so much focus on the rehabilitation, the emotional, the mental health of the pets that are here, the dogs that are here. I got to say, all of the items that we used really, really helpful, and you could see all the volunteers here, their eyes light up of having new gear. But I think for all of us, it's a two-way street. As a pet owner in general, you get so much out of that human-dog, human-cat connection. It's almost like a form of therapy for you and for these animals.
You need to realize that animals have feelings, they have emotion. Man. You need interaction, you want stimulation and you want emotion. So that playtime, seeing them wag their tails and bark, I mean, that is it right there. That picture of these beautiful animals just having a good time, which is something that's been neglected in their lives. And that is that moment that I think everybody, just with a little bit of thing called time, can do so much with.
Completely.
Such a needed thing right now, and it's so important. I think if I was just to make this personal, G, for me, having gone through the experience in the last few months of adopting an animal, not only seeing the impact that it created for taking out a burden from a place that they're trying to kind of keep going, but also just the amount of love that I've received from the adoption process. I'm so much happier for it, and I think everybody could do with just a little bit of love in their life, and at the same time knowing that doing that is adding so much positive impact to the place where they come from.
We have here in Hout Bay 2 informal settlements that are very large, and those cats and dogs in those 2 areas need our help on a daily basis. So we are essential, and there's so many animals out there right now needing help.
Everyone's been hit by COVID-19, and I think NGOs and MPOs probably at the back of the queue, and I would imagine those operating in animal welfare space even more hard hit. So I think they've probably had one of the most challenging years ever. So to be able to help them, support them, bring awareness, I'm so glad that they are the chosen beneficiary for the Crazy Store. I mean, the things that they are getting, 120,000 Rand going towards a brand new vehicle, but it's those small little donations, those moments in between that I think really inspire the people working at DOG, and that's so cool because they do a lot of inspiring themselves. So nice to be able to give them back something.
There's so many things that we need here. I mean, obviously the health, the safety, the care of our animals is our first priorities. And also with winter, these lovely little jackets that have been donated are going to definitely be put to good use.
The impact of COVID-19 on animal shelters goes far beyond just the obstacles like social distancing. They are also, like all of us, looking for ways of operating safely, and you can play your part. Just go and pick up some affordable, good quality pet items. There's an amazing range. You've seen how useful they can be from what we've done here today, and go and make a donation.
Yeah, and here's a good idea. Why not even stay up to date on all your animal rescue needs and follow them on their social media pages, and maybe even if you think that you know someone that could help, you can reshare their post too.
I think I might be going home with an animal food.
Let's go find one.
Oh my word, it's so sweet.
I mean, how can you go there and not want to take every single animal home?
It's so difficult. I got to send a shout out to James with such a beautiful dog and those kittens. Crystal, oh man, she jumped right in my shoulder.
Oh, cute.
Just so sweet, man.
We were going to say a huge thank you, of course, to the Crazy Store, who not only donated those cute jerseys and blankets and grooming items and so much more, but also for donating just over 30 8-kilogram bags of Best Buds dog food that is sure to go a long way.
Come in with a little, leave with a lot. The Crazy Store has a whole range of stuff bound to surprise and delight the whole family.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yeah, welcome back, you beautiful souls. You're still locked in. It's S3. We're opening up live right here on Expresso, and we're continuing the conversation with Dr. Andrew Taylor, the manager of the Endangered Wildlife Trust's Wildlife in Trade program. Now, he's talking about keeping exotic animals and pets. Is it a good idea or not? And what are the rules behind it all? Well, let's find out.
So, Dr. Andrew Taylor, I want to pick up part two just by asking about the legalities around keeping a wild animal. If one doesn't have a permit, what are the consequences?
Yeah, so if you don't have a permit and you're caught without the permit, then you basically committed an offence and you can be prosecuted. It would generally happen under provincial legislation, but yeah, depending on which species you've got and the severity of the offence, you know, it could be either a fine or it could even be imprisonment.
Wow. So my question is exactly why would people even want to keep exotic pets in the first place? I mean, apart from that, I would guess like a show-off factor. Yeah. What is the actual reason? I mean, why even do it in the first place?
Yeah, I think show-off factor is one thing that applies to some people. I think in many cases, people think they're cute, especially when they're small. You know, baby wild animals tend to be considered very cute. So yeah, I think, and very cool. People think they're cool, and you know, some of them are. If you have things like monkeys, intelligent animals, they can be quite entertaining to have around.
Oh wow!
So yeah, I think it depends on the person. But yeah, to me, it seems a bit weird to want to have like a wild animal with you. But yeah, lots of reasons.
I think if you don't educate yourself, you're actually being quite selfish to the animal. You know, you're not really actually thinking about its needs and its habitat. So what are the potential problems with keeping wild animals as pets? I mean, what are the ethical issues you need to consider? I think this is a vital thing for people to hear who are, as mentioned earlier, oblivious to the rules.
Yeah, so there are quite a few. I think, first of all, if you don't know what you're doing with the animal, if you don't have a sort of an understanding of the needs of the animal, then you're going to come short in terms of providing what the animal needs. So you need to know, what kind of food it needs to eat. You need to know the sort of social interactions that it needs, whether it needs those things, what kind of exercise it needs, the space that it needs. So very often people are ignorant of the needs of wild species, and they don't get them right. And so then the animal suffers, and there are animal welfare issues. Then a second and really important issue is, where does the animal come from? So if it's been taken out of the wild and you're not aware of that, you could be contributing to increasing the level of threat to that species. So, for example, something like an African grey parrot, if it could become from a reputable dealer, but if the animal has actually been taken out of the wild, then you could be contributing towards sort of biodiversity loss. And then another really important issue is things like monkeys, for example. You could raise a monkey from a baby monkey, and it'll be fine when that as a baby. But as it becomes adult and goes through sort of the wild puberty, so to speak, they can become very aggressive. So they can actually become very hard to handle. And of course, some wild species are very dangerous. People keep venomous snakes; they can be lethal.
Jeez, yeah. Well, it sounds like it's definitely education that's at the top of the list when it comes to obtaining or just handling an exotic animal. So my question would be then, if someone was hard set on obtaining or just having a pet or an exotic animal as a pet, where could they firstly educate themselves correctly on the practice of keeping it, and where could they then legally potentially obtain an exotic animal permit or an animal just so that it is safe and it is the right way about doing it?
Yeah, so you need to, first of all, would need to go through a reputable dealer, someone that's legal. So do a bit of research into where you would want to get the animal from. Then there's obviously, there are plenty of online resources, but you could, if you were struggling to do that, you could get hold of the Endangered Wildlife Trust, for example. But there are other places online that you could get hold of as well, and much information online in books. To help you do that. And then, I think reputable dealers would be places that you would need to look for and just make sure that they're doing things above board. So do a bit of background research into that.
So I think on a South African perspective, we need to know, because as you mentioned, there's a little ignorance. You'll have somebody, something in the backyard, and it's exotic, but you're just thinking, it's just an animal. We live in South Africa. Sometimes it gets a bit wild here. So what are the South African animals that are endangered that we need to be looking out for and perhaps educating each other about, neighbors, friends, and so it goes?
South Africans, you mean sort of indigenous species, South African species that people keep as pets?
Yes, correct.
Cool.
So what are some of the endangered ones so we know that we can't keep those as pets, so to speak?
Right. Okay, so I think what I didn't mention, and I realized I forgot to say it, and it's very important, while some provinces don't have a permitting system for exotic species, you are not allowed to keep local indigenous species yourself unless you have you'd have to have very specific permitting for that. Okay. You'd probably have to be some kind of institution like a zoo or a game farm or something that would be allowed to do that. So you actually cannot keep, as a personal pet, you cannot keep indigenous species. So I would say that's probably the best thing to say. You don't do it.
Oh, nice.
There we go. And it's good that you said that. I think that's exactly what I wanted to evoke. If you want to, get any more information, there are some website resources for you. So, please take a look around and educate yourself before we do our thing. And I mean, the thing is, yes, it's nice to keep an exotic animal, but at the same time, it is actually very, very important that you understand all of the parameters around it as well. That's important.
Definitely is indeed. Get yourself educated and get yourself primed up so that you are doing your part, and obviously conserving, which is the primary task at hand.
Beautiful stuff. But let's stick to those we are allowed to keep, the domesticated ones that need a home. And we all know what makes dogs so special. Well, all they want to do is give you love.
And they give lots of love and cuddles. I love dogs. Now, Raul took his best friend, Harkin, out for a walk in the park and reminded us all how important fitness and well-being and plenty of cuddles are for our pups.
Okay, boy, ready? Let's go. Yeah. Yes. Now, what is better than this? A sneaky escape from the office, breathing in some fresh air. It does such wonders for the soul. And you know what? Someone else agrees too. Isn't that right, boy? Let's go. Come, boy. Do you want to come on, yeah? Let's go. Oh, he's a good boy. So this is Harkin, my baby bum boy, and he was adopted about 6 months ago. When we found him, he was a little bit neglected and abused, but he is a husky, so they've got lots of energy, they love adventures, and he's the perfect adventure buddy for me, and you can clearly see he's loving life at the moment by this beautiful smile on his face. Well, if you know me, you know that exercise is such a vital part of my days, especially when it comes to the incredible transformational power it has on both the body and the mind. And I think we should think the same thing about our pets. They want to run outside, they want to chase birds, they want to explore as much as we do. I mean, imagine doing the same route every single day. I mean, you wouldn't ever want to do that to yourself, so why do that to our pets? Right, boy? You ready to play? You ready to fetch? Let's go. Go for it. I think we need to work on this one. Let's go, boy. Now, not many pet owners know this, but your dog can be prone to both depression as well as being overweight. Now, that's why it's important to do your research before you adopt. Of course, every breed has a different requirement when it comes to their stimulation, but regardless of what breed that is, they all need good stimulation. So take them for a walk, give them a good, healthy diet, and make sure you include a lot of time to play. Boy, you ready to play some games? You teach them a trick. Come, let's show them. Hockey, come here. Let's go. You want to sit for me? There we go. Onto your hat. Oh, it's a good boy. Now, after a long day out in the grass and rugged terrain, it's important to look after your pet, and especially when it comes to some of those nasty parasites. So really brush them thorough and get involved. Now, as an extra precaution against those parasites, NexGuard Spectra is an awesome product. And it only needs to be taken once a month. And the beauty of this is that it tastes and looks just like a dog pellet, so they won't even notice the difference. Our pets are just like our family, so it's important that we look after their well-being just like we do ourselves. So give them lots of love, make sure they're happy, and of course healthy too, because trust me, that's exactly what they'd want for us.
Oh, you're my baby bum boy. Oh, my baby bum.
Oh, so sweetie boy.
Yes.
Such a sweet boy.
Yeah, the pet voices thing will come out every now and then, but I think that your puppy's very cute.
Oh, he's such a cutie, and we're gonna thank you for watching us. We'll see you after this.
You're such a good person.
Guys. So over the past year, there has been a massive shift in the way in which we communicate with friends, with families, even with our work colleagues, using technology as a means of virtual communication. And when combining the human spirit and technology, we certainly can achieve anything.
That's right. So we thought we would play a fun game of charades by using technology.
Yeah.
And we have Grant Hines and Amber Barnards joining us from their home. Hey, you two!
How's it going? Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for putting the ties within your couple to the test this morning with a little bit of movie knowledge. Absolutely love that we can use technology to have fun with friends. We're going to go head to head, okay? We are going to be playing a little game called Heads Up, a great app that you can download where you can get into all kinds of different subject matter. But in this case, we're going to go with the movies. How is your guys' movie knowledge? Are you up for this?
I think we're pretty good on our movies.
Yeah, we
watch a lot.
watch a lot of movies. It's kind of like a
It's your thing.
Thing of ours.
Well, what's going to happen is we'll each have to hold the phones in front of our heads, and then we need to try and explain to the movie without actually saying it, and we must try and get through as many movies as possible, and the team with the most correct wins. So it's myself and G against Grant and Amber. Are you two ready?
Okay, go for it in 3, 2, 1, and go.
There we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's that movie with the little things that come to life.
Gremlins.
No, it's where the kids play with them.
Trolls.
No, it's the one, the Pixar film. The one with Will Ferrell and the guy where they're adults, but they're also siblings.
Siblings.
No, they're siblings.
It's a comedy.
Yes.
I'm not gonna know it.
Okay, this is an A24 movie about AI.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, then this is the one with Will Smith where he's trying to appeal to capitalism to be.
Shark Tale?
No, Shark Tale. No, to be joyful. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, skip. The one where there's it's also another Pixar film where there's 2 robots. Toy Story.
Oh gosh, I love how you say it's a Pixar film. You know how many there are, Grant.
Thanks, Lucky. I like that you got that one.
Okay, I got the important one.
So you got 2 correct, am I right?
Yes.
But that was
Only
fun.
2.
It was great entertainment value. Thank you so much, man. Okay, so it's our turn now. Okay, so I'm going to play some. Okay, you're going to explain. Go for it.
3, 2, 1. Ooh, the hat, and like everything's just big.
Alice in Wonderland.
Yes. Step forward. There we go. It's a Shakespearean with a sibling, not a sister.
Romeo and Juliet. Macbeth.
Pass. Way up. Okay. Ooh, the dog with the pasta.
The dog with the pasta.
Oh, it's that iconic, the raggedy dog and the pretty dog.
Lady and the Tramp.
Yes. Step forward. Not a dog, but a...
Cat.
Yes, not a man, but a...
Woman. Catwoman.
Yes. Oh, I love this. It had Jack White in it with where he saw everything nice, but everything was really bad. So he saw the girls super beautiful and skinny, but they were...
Oh, I know what it is, but I don't know what
not
the name
deep,
is.
but...
Shallow Hell.
Yes, yes.
Shallow Hell.
We get it.
Did we win?
We did get it. So we got
Okay,
Catwoman, Lady and the Tramp, Shallow Hell, and the first one, which was Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, man.
We got
Brother, we're off now.
Yes.
Done. Oh, brother, we're off now. But most importantly, we smashed you. We crushed you. That was great,
Yes, I
man.
concede.
You did.
Concede.
Do you know what I love about this is that you can, regardless of where you are, you can be connected. You can play fun games like this. And I know a lot of people survived lockdown like this. But isn't it so cool that we've been able to do this, connect with you guys? And it's, I feel like our bond has grown closer because Zoe was awesome. And I feel like your bond was maybe tested a little bit. Amber, how are you feeling about his ability to explain things?
Yeah, like the internet, like over the past year, I don't know where I don't know where we'd be without the internet.
Yeah,
and
we would be together.
Yeah, and just being able to like socialize remotely. You know, we live stream. We spent time live streaming with our audience, which was great, and people got to socialize. We used tools like Discord and got into group chats. And, you know, we just spend quality time with each other, even though we were all isolated. And that really got us through.
Yeah. And I also think from like a, you know, I'm just thinking from a parenting side, we always have this idea of, oh, technology is bad for the kids. But I really love how technology has seamlessly fitted into our lives at times like these where, you know, you need to help and improve the way we live and enhance those experiences and being able to connect with people while staying socially distanced and safe.
Completely. My family, like one half of my family has been in the UK. Lynn's entire family hasn't been able to physically see them in 2 years, yet our son has been able to speak to his grandparents every single day and see them. Vodacom Home is shaping the future and the way we connect with friends, with family, and opening a world of opportunities to us. We want you to visit Vodacom Home for some amazing home internet deals, including super fast fiber, plug and play LTE or 5G.
And we also celebrate that, you know, we want to celebrate the human spirit can achieve when combined with technology to connect everyone for a better future.
All right, losers, we'll see you later. Love you guys. Love you guys.
We should have made a bet. Like, losing team should have done something.
We'll do a round 2 and $50 on the table.
We'll win it. We'll win it.
Oh, they are distracted. They're playing again. I think we can go another round. Now it's my turn to explain to you. Okay, are you ready?
When your family connects, we go further together. Vodacom.
That was so cool.
That was amazing. I want to play now.
Okay.
I think you and I would be like the best partners, man.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, great. So, amazing breakfast show on S3.
Espresso.
Fantastic presenter that always has his top off.
Me?
Yeah, perfect. Look at that. We're the perfect
Yes. Look, another way to obviously spend some great time with friends and making nostalgic recipes together and reminiscing about all the good memories. Let's check it out.
Made with love for 170 years.
When we consider local food icons in Mzansi, few would disagree that lemon meringue is a dish that has stood the test of time. Another timeless icon, which is also the oldest consumer brand in South Africa, is Bakers. For 170 years. They've been bringing us some delicious and quality products, purpose-made for sharing and entertaining. Now, in celebration of their 170th birthday, Jamie has been inspired to share a dish close to her heart and her home. Her Baker's lemon meringue cups are quick, they are easy, and of course an absolute treat. And she's here to show us how to make these delicious lemon meringue cups so that the celebrations can begin.
Do you know what, Zoe? I feel like there's a lot of pressure right now. I feel like my ancestors from Calvinia is watching me like, don't mess this up, girl. We did this every Sunday, so I always tell you this, but my family, we're a very close-knit family, so every Sunday we'd go to church, come home, my grandfather would cook, and then we would always be so excited for the afternoon treats because he'd always whip up like this lemon meringue. So a lot of pressure on me today to give him Zanzi something a bit that's very close to home. So we're going to start with the easy bits. Okay, so you're over there, you have the lemon creams in front of you.
There we go.
Open it up, and this is the best part, is you get to actually separate the two. So you're going to scrape off all the inside filling. So you're going to do that for me is just get all that yummy filling of the lemon creams in, and then we're going to save the biscuit because that's going to be our base. Okay?
There we go.
So you can open it up.
Open it up. I feel like you need to twist it, but you can just like pull it off.
Just pull it off.
There we go. It sometimes breaks. Can I put it in here?
Fine. Yes, absolutely.
There we go. So obviously we want to save the biscuit. And only get the
So do not use your teeth for this when you want to use a spoon.
Yeah,
because we need to actually
hygiene
use that filling.
purposes.
So use that filling, and that's, of course, going to come off beautifully.
There we go.
And so again, really this just hits home to me because we would sit around, all my cousins would sit around waiting for our grandfather to take it out of the fridge and then just like, okay guys, it's time, and we would just share all of his memories. So you're gonna be doing that, and then you're gonna also add the milk, and you're gonna pop it into the microwave for me for about a minute. Okay. Because then it's going to add to the other filling. So we have some cream cheese over here. We have some icing sugar that's also gonna be going in for our filling. And then the lemon, the mighty lemon, is going to come in. Can you see? I brought all the utensils possibly. I was like, don't mess this up. Bring out everything that they have in the kitchen. So you are going to take the lemon and squeeze that in. Again, just according to how zesty you want it.
There we go. So I'm going to follow your instructions and quickly put this into the microwave.
As long as you don't eat any of the...
I won't. Promise.
Here we go. So some lemon is going in, and then you want some zest as well. So
there we go. Use that arm muscle.
Yay!
I love how the chefs make that look so easy. They just go like, and then they're like, the lemon zest falls, and here we are like coming
through
look
with
a little
all
bit
of
more
that.
difficult than what it actually is.
Okay, so this again is going to be the filling for your lemon meringue, and it's very simple, it's very easy. You can prepare this actually before the time, so then you have more time to socialize with your family and just reconnect to everything. But you can also do it while you're sitting there. We usually did a bit of both. Some Sundays, my grandfather would do it the Saturday evening already, and other days he would actually let us all get in on it, and then I was in charge of separating the biscuits.
Well, I can imagine a lot of eating goes in between, like separating the biscuits and actually getting the lemon meringue out. Tell me, is this your grandpa's recipe?
Yes, it is a bit of variation onto it as well, but to the core of it, it is his recipe. So I'm going to leave this for a little bit. Oh, actually, bring it in now because you.
Can I stir it for you?
You can stir it.
There we go.
Stir it as well.
Is this melted enough?
That should be good. Should be good.
There you go.
Okay, so that's also going to go in. Throw that in.
This is now mine to eat. I only scraped off half for the exact purpose of being able to nibble while you bake.
You're my cousin now because you're doing that. And then we're going to fold this nicely so you can maybe use your whisk for that. And then you're also going to put in your cream. So maybe, Zozo,
let me help you.
You can fluff this in as well. The best part of this is you can get everyone involved into this. All the grandkids, all the kids. So you're going to throw that in for me as well.
Slowly.
Yeah.
There we go. Keep whisking. This is where you get your arms.
I always wondered, you know, like why my grandfather had such big arms. Not because he was a boxer, but actually because he was doing this for us every Sunday.
There we go.
Look at that colour, Lon.
Sous chef. You just told me to maak so en dan doen ek het. There we go.
Okay, so the best part of the base as well, and I really love this, is because we're actually mixing two biscuits. So we're using, obviously, the lemon creams, and we're also using the Eat Samoas. Oh,
I can't believe you're combining like two of the best baker's biscuits out there.
I had to do it. I had to do it. So what we're going to do is, and I'm going to give you a little top tip as well. And of course, if you want a list of the ingredients of my Opa's recipe, you can find it at expressoshow.com. But I just want to show you a top tip that I've learned as well. And this is where all your anger comes in. Because you know when you were younger, you had a lot of anger because they made you do the dishes after this. Because who's going to clean up?
Who's going to clean up?
The cousins,
yes.
Which is us. So you put it in here. You put it into your plastic bag, and then
you mush it.
Nice little base crumble. So you're going to mix the two, and that's what you get. You can actually put it in there, but it's fine. You can get to eat that, and you're going to mix the two together.
There we go.
And that's going to be your base. So again, taking all my utensils, and that. And now the best part comes. This is where you get to play around. Everyone gets to get their glass, and you are gonna.
Now you have some fun with the layers.
Yes. So your base goes in first.
You have a lot of patience for this, eh?
Why? You had a lot of time. It was a Sunday afternoon.
There we go.
Then,
of course.
Is your mouth watering already?
There we go. Well, while you're layering it up, you want that to be your end goal. We're going to top it off with a little bit of meringue. And if you've missed any of the steps to Jamie's family lemon meringue cups, we do have a recap for you.
He makes the
with love for 170 years.
The rich taste that says you've arrived. Living a life of illusion. Leaving your finances on the rocks. In this world of Bazotina Bantu, do you want a bank that takes your money or a bank that takes your money seriously?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. We are almost done, but time now to squeeze in one last breathtaking dance performance from the upcoming Dance Can Dance showcase at the Artscape Opera. And of course, singing to Elvis Sibeko's song Itemba, which means hope. Here are Letabo, Nombongo, Darren and Gareth from the South African Youth Choir performing with dancers from the Elvis Sibeko studios. This one is going to take your breath away.
See you
Love you
tomorrow.
guys. See you tomorrow.
We're going to Zimbabwe. See you then.
Wow. Careful what you say.
Here's to family favorites and recipes passed from mothers to daughters. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.